Get 'em Jimmy, where low shack at. The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, July 7th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It was a very interesting day of baseball yesterday, and stayed up late seeing if Jose could cash with the Rockies and Jose Urethra. God, that was so close to a huge score. And I don't know what was wrong with me. I was kind of capping at the same time. I thought that run had scored in the fifth inning and that he'd cashed that first five. I didn't realize that was a push. And now he's got to go right back to the well here with Bubic. So we got to bring him on for that game. But wow, that was wild. Yesterday for me was so wild. White Sox first five push. Brewers first five -1. I bet 5 minutes before the first pitch was a push. And I was lucky. Here I hit that 2-run home run in the bottom of the fifth. San Francisco, Arizona, first 504 was bad. And then my additions, I watched Say Hey plays, and Seamus, Ignoramus was great. And Jose was great. And I was watching, I was trying, because I wanted to pull the trigger on a few plays. And there's certain, and I was just humming and hawing over 5 bets. And there's certain cappers that will stick in your head, from day to day, low baggers. And Rob Free was in my head because I wanted to move on the Cardinals. And Michaelis, I wanted to move on them. And him just saying they never produce offense for Michaelis. Don't do it. He was like, don't do it. Don't bet. And sure enough, 0. They put up a goose egg for Michaelis, and the Braves score 2 runs in the bottom of the fifth. So however I would have betted, it would have lost. So Rob Free, when we are out, booze on me. You saved me $150 last night, and I thank you. Nationals first 5+1/2 was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. +110, cashed at Washington, Philadelphia first 5 under 4, fucking beautiful. Trusting the splits worked very well for us in that game. And then Kansas City, Houston for first 5 under 4.5 was terrible. And I went over and I said it, on the show. We have Hunter Englehart. I'm so excited about having Hunter Englehart on the show. And when you watch these successful cappers, you see how they find themselves in plus spots. Literally, their cards full of plus spots. Hunter Englehart has done one show with us. This is his second show. His first show, he went 4-1. His average line was +110. And he was up 3.37 units. It was excellent performance, and it carried over to me. I had one of my best performances of the year working with him. But I said on the show, I'm not going to take first 5 or any totals at -125, and I still did. I still took KC Houston first 5 under 4.5, which cost me a winning day. I went 2-2 -0.2 units. And when I go over my action, when I go over my my record keeping, and I look at the spots where I've so I lose the KC Houston first 5 under 4.5 -125. Any -125s. I had Dodgers first 5 -0.5 on Friday night at -125. It was a loser. I had Mariners first 5 -0.5 -125. That was a loser. Now I don't hate those when I'm on a favorite first 5 -0.5 and it's a -125. It's the totals at -125 that just bother me. Why am I doing it? The implied probability doesn't work. So that's been weighing on me. 2-2 down 0.20 units. Record still looks good. We have CFL to talk about, and then we'll bring on Hunter Englehart. And God, there's some days when I'm sitting here and the work is done, and it's tough to get the work done, even though it's only baseball and CFL here. But there's, you can spend 2-3 hours on a single baseball game. But I sit here and I'm just like, God, I'm so thankful for the opportunity to cap with you guys every day. It brings so much. It brings everything to my life. I'm just so thankful. So let's get to work. Thank you for joining us. Let's talk Viper NB in the house. 3-1. Added the over on Cleveland. Added the over on the Cleveland -1.5. Braves -1.5. White Sox -1.5. Dodgers locked in so far. As you guys know, some of you guys who roll with me, I got the LASIK eye surgery, I don't know, 8-9 years ago. And there was an expensive, like, light little cut, and then there was a cheap fucking dagger in the eyeball. So I took the cheap one, fuck. Right. And then you can do 1 year of insurance, 2 years of insurance, 4 years of insurance, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I was like, well, how about no insurance? And they're like, well, that's not a good idea. You should have some insurance. It's your eyes we're talking about. And I was like, what are the chances that I have to come right back and get this, fixed? He's like 10%, probably 10%. So you should. And I was like, I'm going to take that bet. No insurance, doc. And he was like really uncomfortable, but whatever. But it's going now. 9 years and I'm fucking squinting, having problems seeing. So I'm gonna have to get more fucking. Hopefully that dagger in the eye wasn't too horrific. And then my cousin, attractive, she goes into the same doctor, and she's like 25, and it's my wife's cousin. My cousins have deteriorated very fast. My wife's cousin, and he offers her that expensive, because the one cuts like $2,000, the other cuts like $5,000. It's like a real, I don't know, whatever. But he gives it to her for the $2,000 price just because he wants to get inside her. Not for me. Dommy Gun Ricci in the house. Dave Redling won 14 bets yesterday. Nice job, Dave. Fap win. Otto hit the strikeout prop yesterday. I like Otto. Dommy Gun says, got to work for a living today. Damn. But we'll be listening off a 4-bagger with the Mets money line, run line, first 5 under and over Peterson K's. Also, Tiger team total lost. Pirates team total, Red Sox over. God, it's my eyes. What the hell's going on with me? I can't see shit. All right, I'm going to copy and paste Vipers action here. And I just need to. It's very helpful, especially when the show's over. And I'm like, okay, let's see what I'm going to add. And I've made no bets on the MLB card today. And, working with Hunter was very, very profitable last time. So I'm going to kind of keep the same thing that I had then. Early plays today are the Reds minus 106 and Verlander over 6.5 Ks at minus 113. There we go. All right. Great to see all of you guys. Dave Redling saying, Vipe, don't sleep on the Tigers, but have to take Cease in the White Sox game first 5 unless he's injured. The over on the strikeout prop is a slam dunk. That's from Dave Redling. All right. Dommy Gun saying, for the record, Astros last 11 games now. First 5 overs, 8-3. Wow. Fap win. We talk about his giant vat of lube. 55-gallon drum. 55-gallon drum of lube. Here he is betting 2-game parlay today. No run first inning, Houston versus KC. And Chicago White Sox money line for Fap win. Copy and paste that right now. Jesus. Copy. God. What the hell's wrong with me? Copy and paste. Lock that in. All right. Johnny Gonzalez coming off a 4-1 day. Nice work. You were great in the chat yesterday, Johnny. I'm no surprise to me that you had a winning day. All right. Let's keep it rolling. Turnsy in the house. He's got his third bout with COVID right now. Hope you're getting through that well, Turnsy. Sending you all the healthy energy that we can. And it's nice just to have you capping with us, man. Not that, I'd prefer you not have COVID, but any way to have you capping with us. Mike M in the house. AJ1337, Real Deal Prime. Spencer says, great day to cap. Let's have a day. Spencer Caminati. Dab Fence. It hasn't really been on overs in overs year, but there are a few that he likes today. Nick went 2 and 4 plus 0.1 unit. Said always back Ohtani. That was a great look from Jose because we'd seen that the sharp action was on the Marlins, but that did not fear Jose at all. And he got those runs in the 5th inning, which I just fucking love. 5th inning runs. Love it. Great to see all you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And Kenny V took about 5 days off, been tracking action. I think I'm seeing things clearly now. Let's cash. I love that, Kenny. Always important. There's Art Hayes, my guy. Art Hayes had my back since day one, and I have his. Art Hayes in the house. What a guy. Puzzler says, I hate being wrong. Well, just be right, 55% of the time and wrong 45%, and you're all good. There's Nasty Nate in the house. Jack Jenkins says, top of the morning. Red Girl in the house. Daniel Hernandez. Lock of the day for me. Daniel Hernandez says it's Philly money line. There's Big Show picks in the house. Cheshire Cat. What a great group. NHL draft tonight. Yes, I'm very interested in that. More interested for the trades rather than who will be picked. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Yellow Jesus. It's been too long. Oh, man. Yellow Jesus, when I started, he would always bless us. He would always bless our picks. What a guy. Yellow Jesus says, see you in AC, Jimmy. That's right. We're putting together our Atlantic City trip, and that's what we're raising funds for because Slaughter, our leader, he wants to cover everybody's hotel rooms. And so a lot of people are like, let's go when it's hot. And I'm like, fuck that, man. And I know there's other people who don't agree with me, but let's go when it's fucking dead. Let's go in the fucking dead of winter when nobody's there except fucking old people. And we can take the shit over and get cheap hotel rooms, get cheap everything. Because I'm not going down there to talk to anybody else except for us. I just want to gamble with that. So so that's what I'm about. All right. What about the NHL draft? I'm not betting on the draft myself. Big Show Picks has his action here. Let me copy and paste Big Show's action. Here we go. Big Show's action. Detroit first 5. Detroit full game. Ooh, shit. Baltimore, Tampa Bay money line, Yankees first 5, and Yankees full game. Ooh, shit, Big Show. That's exciting. Back in his Tigers. Justin Bilbo. I got to see Justin Bilbo on camera, and it was just me going back and checking a show that it had already aired, and there he was from Germany. And man, I want to have him on this show. Respect to Justin Bilbo in the house. Mally Mal, Daniel Hernandez, DJing. I love that. But it was on our nightcap show, and I love how inclusive pub sports radio is. It's what I've always wanted to be a part of. And we cap together, we win together, we battle together, and then when I get to see people on camera, it's like, oh man, it just adds so much. It adds so much. All right, great to see all you guys. Von Polo in the house, the Chameleon, Trenton Claxton. Man, KC first 5 for Trenton Claxton. If Trenton Claxton says anything about the WNBA, listen. This guy, 5 years, I've been watching him win. Joey Marinaccios had a rough day yesterday. We'll get it. AOD, I love you too. All right, let's get to work, you guys. There's Lee Davis saying, Hunter with the call of the season on the first 5 under yesterday. Man, I don't know what was that, Lee? I'd love to know what he cashed with. I did not know. Okay. Fireside said had Mets Yanks parlay, Twins -1, Orioles moneyline, Athletics +1.5, Diamondbacks moneyline. Sketchy card yesterday. Some forced plays figuring out. That's how it works. Fireside, we're gonna get that cash, and there's some cards that are just more trickier than others. Okay. Great to see all you guys. Tone, we got Tone in the house, man. Been too long since Tone rolling with us. Art says in the building for the AC trip. I love that. MLB spreadsheet play of the day is in from Ron Crawford. Ronnie Crawford spreadsheet play of the day is in. Atlanta -1. Copy and paste that here. Get that ready over the Braves game. Oh. Liberator versus Strider. I like it. There's Coin ready to get to work. Dav Fenn in the house. Astros, Orioles, and Rockies. JR saying he'll be there as well. JR is going to roll with us in AC. God, it's going to be great. It's going to be fucking beautiful. Oh, shit. That's what you cashed last night. Oh, my bad. Okay, sorry. I just tried to get everybody's action so I can, so we can always discuss it. My bad. Oh, you're right. Now I see it better. Sorry, my fucking eyes. Okay. Let's move that here. Okay. All right, guys. Let's get to work. Galactic High in the house. Any summer league basketball betting? I was thinking that there would be more of it, but Nancy says when it's cold. Look, I don't care, man. I don't fucking care. I just want. Look, if we can get hotel rooms for $30 a pop. And then, if we have 10K raised, now we're talking like, we all of a sudden you get like 150, 200 hotel rooms and you still have 5K left over. I don't know. This is the way I like it. It's the way I like it. Turnsy says Matthew Tkachuk will likely be moved at the draft tonight. If the Flames move Matthew Tkachuk, they're idiots. He's the best player on their hockey team and the toughest and everything all wrapped up in one. It's just spectacular. And if he moves, I hope the Canucks have enough to offer them, which I don't think they do. All right, Jedi for life in the house. Zoe Zanichelli saying Dylan Cease is on the mound for the White Sox. 10-0 his career against them, and all 10 wins have come by 2+ runs. I love that. Ken Mizrahi ready to go. Dommy Gunn. All right, let's get to work. Nancy Day says they might be $13 and come with homeless squatters. Well, look, we don't want homeless squatters. We don't want that. I get that. We don't want that. All right, let's get to work. Michael Ervalina. Yeah, man. I agree. Michael Ervalina is with me. For Patashi, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Says I would love if Tkachuk was moved. Yeah, I'd love. Well, no. The Canucks picked Oli Uolevi over Matthew Tkachuk. A bunch of idiots. McAvoy went 11th overall in that draft too. And we, of course, picked Oli fucking Uolevi. All right, let's get to work, you guys. Respect. Thank you for joining us. Let's get that cash. And we start in the sport where I've been eating nice. Now, I did lose in week 4. 2-2, down 0.20 units. I cashed with the Tiger Cats first quarter -2 and the Tiger Cats first half -4. All 4 CFL games last week went over. I had the under in Montreal, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg, Toronto. I had the under in both those, and they both lost. It was disappointing. The big news in the CFL is Kari Jones and Baron Miles were fired. It makes me angry. Like Danny Machocha thinks he can come in here, hasn't coached since fucking 2008. Kari Jones and Danny Miles both played for the Lions. I'm big fans of both of them as men, as leaders. I don't know enough of what was going on inside the room, but I don't trust Danny Machocha. And I knew that when he was the general manager, when he got hired to be general manager, I was like, oh, he's going to find this way to get a coaching job. Because that's the only way he'll get hired as a coaching job if he hires himself. Bring Jim Pott back. But he's the head of players in the USFL, player development. I don't know what the hell it is. But that's big news in the CFL. Alouettes fired Kari Jones and Baron Miles, and I don't like it. I don't like Danny Machocha. And usually when a coach is fired or when there's a change in coaching, they're bet on week 1. I think these guys might be a fucking fade. Turnsey is on the Elks +3.5. There has been a huge move to the Stamps. Big move to the Stamps, and it's after I locked in. A huge move to the Stamps, which is great. And I was a little late. I've made this mistake now twice this year. I was waiting for the first quarter to be available to bet. So the first half was -1.5, -110, and I should have just bet it. Instead, I waited until this morning. It was -2. But both times that's happened, it's been below the important number of 3, and it hasn't cost me anything. It was in the Ticats game when that happened, and Ticats were up 16-6 after the first quarter. So I doubled up here. The Stampeders are now 5-point favorites, and that's all happened. They were 3.5-point favorites this morning. 5-point favorites now. The Stamps are. I moved on the Stamps first quarter and first half. I got -0.5 in the first quarter. I got -2 in the first half. And it doesn't surprise me that there's been this big move. Now the first half is -3. And look, that first quarter is still sitting at -0.5. I love that. Ken, we're going to talk about that game tomorrow. We're only going to do the one game right now. Ronnie Bergia, what up, my man? Okay, so let's break this down here quickly. Again, I'm on the Stampeders first quarter, first half. I tweeted it out, and in the last hour and a half, 2 hours, it's just moved violently towards the Stampeders. Now, a couple things to remember. 9 of the last 10 times, these provincial rivals, these cities are 3-hour drive apart, 2.5 hours, if you're putting the pedal to the metal, is 9 of the last 10 times these teams have faced, the dog is covered. We covered with the Elks 2 weeks ago when they played. It was a 30-23 win for the Stampeders. The Elks covered the +8.5, and the Elks covered the team total over, I believe it was 19.5. They scored 23 points. And I was so confident in that spot. And last year, teams coming off buys were sloppy. And that was in the CFL. They were sloppy, and it almost made me not bet this. But I did. Again, first quarter -0.5 and first half -2. It's now -3 now. Stimmy OG's on the Elks +5. Look, I get it, but I'll tell you why I'm on the Stamps here. And because of the ability of the dog to cover so often in this series is why I'm not on the full game. But let's break this down right now. And from a total perspective, and I know we all want to talk baseball, and we got Hunter Englehart waiting and ready to rock. But let's just go over here quickly. Wow, what a move. Now 5. And the total has gone from 50.5 to 51.5 to 52.5. And I'm shocked. Oh, and now it's 52. I thought that this would kind of move towards the under, even though all 4 games went over. Okay. So here, let's go. Stampeders are coming off their bye week. They're looking to go 4-0. We last saw them defeating the Elks 32. I've already done that. Calgary's offense ranked 2nd in the CFL in scoring and yards per game. They've cracked 30 points in all 3 of their games so far. And the Elks have injuries on their defense, injuries that are going to hurt them. And the Stampeders are as healthy as they've been all season long. Adam Konar, linebacker, is questionable for the Elks. Jake Seresna, defensive tackle, is out. Jerron Carter, defensive back, out. Niles Morgan, linebacker, out. James Wilder, running back. James Wilder Jr. is an important piece of this team, is out. Aaron Grimes, defensive back, is out. That's for the Elks. So, and there's many more angles here for me. So the Elks are going to try to carry this momentum from their 27-23 come from behind victory against Hamilton last Friday. But Bano was at the game, and it must have broke him. And we'll talk tomorrow about how angry he is. They were down 20-7 until late in the third quarter, and they won this game on a shock defensive touchdown with less than 2 minutes left. Look, I know that Babano said terrible things about the Elks and Chris Jones, but I've seen Chris Jones in person, and I've seen when he walks around these football players, he scares the shit out of them. Sometimes that's a bad thing. We've seen Tortorella fuck that up, and I hate Tortorella. And I don't like Chris Jones, but I've just seen how he demands attention and he demands respect, and I do think that he can turn this around with his fear approach. And I don't think it'll work long term, but it'll work when this team's been the worst team in our league for so long, and he scares the shit out of people when he's a big guy and he just fucking stares lasers into people. And then, so I do think that he's going to be able to turn this team around, and he's not afraid to make big decisions. And he made one last week. He brings in Trey Ford at quarterback. And a lot of you guys in America will never have heard of Trey Ford before because he's a Canadian who played in Canadian university football. That's unheard of. First off, it's unheard of that a Canadian can star at quarterback in the CFL. Trey Ford played for the Waterloo Warriors for 4 years. He won the Heck Crichton Award in 2021. And I know we're going to get into baseball, and it's so important, but I just want to give you guys just a quick little history on Canadian quarterbacks in the CFL, because the list of Canadian quarterbacks to succeed in the CFL is so short. We have the great Russ Jackson, who's beloved up here in this country. He started at quarterback from 58 to 69. 1958 was the year the CFL started, and he starred as a quarterback. He came out of McMaster University in Hamilton. He's a very well-educated man, a very smart dude, and he won back-to-back Grey Cups in 68 and 69, and then he became an educator. He moved away from football, and since then, nothing. I mean, nobody. We've had 4 Canadian quarterbacks in the history of our league that have thrown for over 3,500 yards. That's how nothing this is. We had another guy, though, Andrew Buckley. And the Canadian guys might remember him. He came out of the Calgary Dinos. He went to the Calgary Stamps. He won the Heck Crichton Award, so that's most outstanding football player in Canadian university sports in 2014 and 2015. He was the backup quarterback when the Stamps won the Grey Cup in 2016. He even scored a touchdown in that game. And he bounced. His parents are doctors. At 24 years old, he went to med school, and he's a doctor right now. He was like, fuck, what am I going to do? Make $50,000 a year here and suffer a CTE, or can I be a doctor? So he fucked off and he became a doctor. Both his parents are doctors. So you guys are probably thinking Nathan Rourke, what a beast he is. And yes, he's a beast, and he's going to probably be the second best Canadian quarterback in the history of our sport. But he was an Ohio Bobcat. He didn't play in Canadian university. So it's just unheard of. So Trey Ford comes in, rushes for 71 yards. He's got a lot of speed, but he can't throw the ball. 167 yards, threw a couple interceptions. So there's a couple things here. One, if Dave Dickinson now has 2 weeks to plan, because it was a surprise that Trey Ford was at quarterback, and you could tell the Tiger Cats weren't necessarily fully prepared for a mobile quarterback. Now, Dickinson has over a week at least to know that Trey Ford's going to be a quarterback, prepare for the mobility of Trey Ford. Edmonton is allowing, well, let's just go with the offense once more. You have this Bo Levi Mitchell, twice named CFL's most outstanding player, looking healthy, 300 yards in back-to-back games. Kadeem Carey on the ground. This Edmonton defense, 409.8 yards per game, last in the CFL, allowing 437 yards per game 2 weeks ago. So I just think it's a letdown spot after the Elks won their all-important first win of the season, and you have a week and a half to prepare for this mobile quarterback. So I am on the Stampeders. First quarter, first half, and there's been a huge – this opened at -3. It's now at -5. So then the last thing we will look at right now is the Edmonton weather, because there was possible rain in the forecast, and let's see if that has changed. Thunderstorms, 3 o'clock, thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms. So I'm not agreeing with this move to the over. And if it gets too high, I'll go underneath it. So there you go. There you go. Stamps, first quarter, first half for me. I got a -half and on the first quarter, and I got -2 on the first half. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us through some Canadian football. And look, we wouldn't talk about it too much if I wasn't fucking eating 11-5 plus 5.55 units, hitting at 68.8% ROI, 34.69%, average line -111. And I cashed 11 of my last 12 in 2021. So we're fucking eating. And that's why we're taking a little bit of time to talk it out. All right. I love you guys. We now move on to MLB and your guest, former Div 1 pitcher himself. And I love the way this guy caps. Everybody who watched his last show, it was back on Thursday, June 16th, was very impressed. And he's another guy who's just a selfless capper who just wants us to succeed. And here he is right now for us. Please welcome to the show, Hunter Englehart in the house. Hunter, how are you, my man?
Jimmy, good, man. Hoping we can repeat that last day you're talking about. We both had a pretty good day, so let's keep it rolling. I think you went 7-0. I think on that week.
I think I went 6-1, but I'll double check. But I remember there was a point where it looked like we could go 12-0.
Yeah,
we thought we were going to go 12-0 that day. That's I didn't even wipe the smile off my goddamn face. Okay.
I think the Mets got us. I think they gave up an error or something. Or no, they got thrown out at third with one out, and then that ruined us there. So.
Oh, but I had them. Remember, that was when the -125 didn't hurt me. Remember, I took them on the money line -125. You got the plus. So, yeah, I love it. DX Filer saying good call on Barrios yesterday, Hunter. That was a great call. Great call. And didn't you say in the chat that you thought Barrios would have his best start of the season?
Yes, I did. And I think his other best start, I think he threw 3 or 8 innings and only gave up 1 earned run. So I don't know how many. I know he was scoreless through 5 or 6 yesterday, but he had a good day.
He did. It was great work, and I'm looking forward to break this down. So again, Hunter's numbers from his first performance here on the show: 4-1, 80%, plus 3.37 units, ROI plus 67.4%, average line plus 110. Let's get to work, and we're going to start with the doubleheader, Hunter. We're going to start with the Pittsburgh Reds doubleheader, and then we will move on to Royals Astros. So we're starting game 1, 2:10 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates at Cincinnati Reds. Pirates 13-25 on the road. Reds 28-53, 14-27 at home. We're at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm going to bring up the weather and refresh it here in a second. I'll do that in a second, but let me just set a table for you, Hunter, so that you can get rolling here. First off, line history in this one. Let's move over here. Line history in this Contreras minor start. No movement since it came out at 11:31 p.m. I just want to make sure that this is all refreshing here. Yeah, no movement at all. Opened up as a pick'em at 11:31 p.m. last night, and it stays there. From a total perspective, it opened up juice to the over at -115, and it's now juice to the under at -115. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. Move over here and get the cash up. There's my guy, Moose Money Bets in the house. Great to see Moose Money, great capper. Love having you rolling with us. Let me just move over here and then get this, make sure it's all fresh. Wow. Okay, here we go. Full line value on 2 spots. Oh, no, and they're ugly ones. But we'll get to them. We'll get to them shortly. 4,879 tickets in. 55% of the tickets and 81% of the cash on Rowancy Contreras. 86% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the over, but it's moved 10 cents towards the under. Tricky. Joey Zanichelli saying Keuchel over 5.5 hits. Anyone? Fireside says this feels like Pirates all day. Rowancy Contreras' last start was ugly. It was a 19-2 loss at home to the Brewers. He went 1 2/3, 5 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 homers, 1 K, and 2 walks. Still has nice numbers on the season, 4.09 ERA, 1.45 whip. And his road numbers, as you would imagine, are a little better than his home numbers after getting lit up like that. Mike Minor also, so Rowancy Contreras having a good season, coming off a terrible start. The opposite for Mike Minor, he came off the IL, about 5 weeks ago. He was on the IL for the beginning of the season, and he looked awful. But he's coming off his best start against the tough Braves team that smashes lefties. It was a 9-1 loss, but it wasn't on Mike Minor. He went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, and no walks. But he's sitting with a 6.82 ERA, 1.48 whip on the year. The Pirates don't hit lefties, 223, 659 OPS. Reds versus righties, 232, 655 OPS. Pirates bullpen, 4.79 ERA, 1.41 whip. And the only bullpen worse than them is the Reds at 5.65 ERA, 1.51 whip. Lee Davis says he's on the Reds in game 1. There's Keith Gordon in the house. Great to see you, Keith, my guy. Take it away here. Hunter, game 1, Pirates Reds.
So right now, I don't have anything on this game yet right now, but what I am waiting for, I think there was under 4.5, I believe, had a couple that were around even money / plus 105, and now it looks like they're all majority minus 105. I was looking at the first 5 under. And the reason why I'm hesitant to wait is because it looks like Cincinnati, I'm looking right now, looks like Cincinnati has a confirmed lineup, but Pittsburgh expected lineup has Hayes leading off, who's a righty, but then 2 through 9 are all left-handed batters. And Mike Minor's splits are significantly different against righty and lefty hitters. So against righties, hitters are hitting 307 off him with an over 1 OPS. And lefties, they drop down all the way to 256 off him. So if this lineup is expected that 8 out of the 9 batters are left-handed batters for Pittsburgh, then I might take a shot and pay a little juice for the under. But I'm assuming once that lineup comes in, that it's going to be a race, because I'm sure the books are also looking at that as well. So I'm just keeping an eye out for the lineup for Pittsburgh to come out to see what the lefties are there. But other than that, I mean, the only thing that interests me is the first half under, if that lineup has 7+ lefties in it so far, because Mike Minor's bat versus pitchers numbers are low. I mean, he's only faced Reynolds is hitting 167 off him, and then the rest, Vogelbach's hitting 286 off him with 2 bombs. So he's 0 for 5, but then other 2 at bats he hit 2 bombs. So I like the spot for Minor as far as lefty righty matchups, and the Reds were putting up some runs, and they're doing a little better than expected. But as far as sides or anything, there's more games, so it's kind of a pass for me as far as that goes.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things that I do is I only really in MLB and NBA, and NFL, so I shouldn't say only that, but I really want to know what the market is saying in these spots. And yesterday was a spot where there was, in the Braves Cardinals game, the total was getting juiced heavy on the over 8.5, and maybe a half an hour before first pitch, the under 8.5 was plus 105 on my book, and I could see through Sports Insights that the bigger bets were coming in on the under. So why were they making it so appealing to bet the under? And I couldn't figure it out, and it cost. Now I would have done 2 bets. I would have taken the Cardinals first 5 or first 5 plus a half, which was minus 115 in comparison to plus 150, and I just stayed off the game because I was confused by it. And here, seeing that the juice is coming in on the under and all of the tickets are on the over, and all of the cash is on the over, why are they making it more appealing for people to bet the over? Is it because the books think this under is going to cash? Is the only kind of angle that I can find.
I mean, those splits lefty right, I mean, that's a pretty popular split that a lot of normal / your everyday bettors are going to look at, lefty righty matchups. And I just think the gap is so big there, and Pittsburgh has been thrown out 90% of their 80% of their lineup's been lefties, and Mike Minor's lefty pitcher, obviously, so his lefty splits and the stuff that he has, I mean, it's a 50 plus point swing in average and a almost 300 point swing in OPS besides lefty righty. So I think once that lineup comes out, you'll get a clear picture on what's going on. So I think it's just a question mark of the Pittsburgh lineup today.
Well, we can't talk Pittsburgh Pirates baseball without hearing what our man Jose Bouquet has to say about this ball club. And so I'd like to hear about what he has to say about this game one and him to stick around as we just discuss what angles we're looking at for game two. So please welcome to the show host of Say Hey Plays of the Day, Jose Bouquet in the house. Jose, how are you, my friend? It was a late night for you, I imagine, watching that Rockies game. It's just like winning a Stanley Cup. Words are difficult to find. I get it. What do you think of this spot here, Contreras, Mike Minor? Because I kind of like Mike Minor having another good start. And then the question is, do we expect Rowan C. Contreras to bounce back?
There we go. I do expect Rowancy to bounce back. I actually was going to take Pirates money line here, but I'm kind of hesitant. I do want to see the lineups as well, like Hunter was mentioning, mainly because I just need to see if O'Neill's in the lineup. My man is a lefty, as we know. Maybe they'll sit him in game one and then go in game two. I'm not sure. The Pirates are a very weird group of people over there. And Lucas Ryan, by the way, is right. I wanted to set the Jolly Roger on fire yesterday. And I was especially angry at the Yankees for not throwing Anthony Rizzo in the ninth inning. That would have really helped me out as well. But no, we ride again. I'm on team total over 4.5 if Cruz is in.
Okay. Well, then you will we'll find out during the show. Let's talk game two. At this point, we think it's Bryce Wilson versus Robert Duggar. And by the way, the weather, it's not blowing out. It's blowing slightly in, but it's hot and humid. So that may help the ball travel. Let's talk about what we're looking for in game two. Bryce Wilson, Robert Duggar. Wilson coming off a really nice start in a 7-4 win at home versus the Brewers, but this guy's got a 7.49 ERA and a 1.79 whip. We're not talking big sample size, 39 2/3. And then Robert Duggar was claimed off waivers from the Rays. He's not looked good in the minors. He actually looked a little better in the Rays system at Durham than he did in the Red system. But combined with these, he's had 2 starts, one for each team. 8 in the third, 13 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, and 1 walk. I mean, he does not look good. Jose, is there anything that you're looking at angle-wise for game two and your Buccos?
Jimmy, you know what I'm going to take in game two. I mean, it's Pirates team total. So it's going to be Pirates team total for the next couple of days at least. Because if I lose again on them, I don't think I've lost back-to-back days on the Pirates team total train. Now, I said yesterday, and I've said frequently, that 3.5 are kind of the sweet spots. 4.5 do make me nervous. And I said I peeked yesterday at the schedule when I saw the Reds coming. I thought it would be this high. But you're right about the Reds' shitty bullpen. And I'm going to hope that Robert Duggar, who could be a creative player, just generated from the MLB factory. You know, he just is the most nothing player. I could easily see them getting off there in game two. But, you know, ultimately, it will depend on game one. If the Pirates are a big, we're down, let's just fucking quit team. They just fold, quit. It's like, fuck it. We're down 6. We're not coming back. We're down 10. Let's just throw Josh Van Meter in there, and he'll throw 40 pitches in the inning. Or they'll throw a reliever for 60 pitchers in an inning. They don't give a fuck. When they're down, they're down. And they're not going to score, apparently. But I will say I do like their team totals, like I've been saying. It'll be interesting to see for sure if my man Cruz plays against Minor. I hope so.
I think all of this talks made me almost move on that first 5 under in game one. Are you going to make any? Pinnacle hasn't set up game 2 as they're a very cautious book and give you great lines, but they've put up game 2. Is there anything you want to make official here at this point, or will you jump in at some point during the show and let me know?
Yeah, I'll jump in whenever and I'll shoot you a message, or if not, I'll be refreshing and waiting for Papa Cruz to be in there.
Hunter, let's go over to you. Is there anything that you're looking for in game 2 that's currently off the board, as they're not certain that Duggar will be pitching? Is there anything you're looking for, any angles, anything, or do you need to see what happens in game 1?
Yeah, Bryce has his numbers got kind of inflated because he just got absolutely shelled by the Dodgers and the Cardinals twice. I think he's a good pitcher as far as, the Reds team isn't like a overpowering team, but when I have that kind of stuff, when it's Reds and Pirates, there's money to be made elsewhere, I guess you could say. And it looks like the first 5 just got moved to 5 now in game 1. Is that what you're seeing as well in yours?
Yeah, was
5 with big juice on the under.
I have slight juice on the under, at least for the standards at Bet365.
I see one book still has under 4.5 at plus 102. Still for that first 5.
Let's see what Pinnacle has that will likely tell the story for me. They're at 5, and they are juiced minus 113 to the under. I think the first 5 under is the spot. I think that Mike Minor showed us something against the Braves. Now, the problem is I just immediately think of saying this about Lance Lynn and Cobb yesterday, So
I knew I was fucked from that moment, Jim, when the fucking White Sox just refused to die yesterday and we pushed that bet. That's what I knew. I was like, I'm in for a lot of pain today. A lot of pain's coming.
If Tim Anderson tags them on that double play, that under cashes. So it's like frustrating, but
I think the first 5 under is. I did not plan on making this a part of my action, but the only thing I can sit here and say is, like, if all of this money and all of these tickets are coming in on the over, then why are they making the over more appealing for gamblers? Why are books doing that? There has to be a reason that books are doing that. It has to be. Why else? Why do they not want even money? Don Max says 99% cash on the over, and it moved from 9.5 to 9. Oh, it didn't move from 4.5 to 4. It's definitely at 5. I didn't realize it was at 9.5. I didn't have that. Bet365 didn't. Bet365 opened this at 11:31 last night at 9 minus 115. Okay, I'm gonna pull the trigger on this. I think there's enough for me to. Now, it doesn't all correlate, because when everything correlates in the situation, for me it's when it comes to the actual cash and market, it's when the tickets, who cares what the tickets are, but the bigger bets are coming in on the bet I want to make, and the market is moving in that direction. And that's not quite happening here. But I think I think Mike Minor's going to have a good start here.
I'll go with you too on there, Jimmy. I don't have it, but I don't have any other action in that KC Astros game or anyway for lunchtime plays. So put me on it, first 5 under. Give me something to watch. A little D-Gen minimum bet for me. I'll put in that.
All right.
Well, but I like it too.
And with Jose saying that Rowancy, he expects a bounce back spot from Rowancy.
And I saw someone in the chat just said that they're in Pittsburgh and it's real humid too, so that heavy air kind of matters, Let's
see what I can get you over at Circa if they can beat this. Wow, they've moved it to 4.5. Holy shit! This should be bet as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm looking at Bet Rivers has it at plus 102 for under 4.5.
Okay, well, I can get you the 5 at minus 113. What would you prefer?
I'll take the 4.5 at 102. I stick plus units. I know it's hard
so
sometimes.
Funny that Hunter. I knew Hunter was not going to take that. As soon as he went minus 113, that you're the only person that would do that, and I love that. Hunter.
I can give you a much better price. I can get you that 4.5 at plus 116.
Oh,
that's at Pinnacle right now.
You're turning me on, Jimmy, and it's before noon.
4.5 at plus 116.
Jimmy has that effect on people. Let me tell you.
Under 4.5.
Many a time.
Stop, please. Okay, Hunter's in. Okay, I'm gonna make this bet while the show is on, because I'm not sold that it will be available here shortly, which is crazy if all the money's coming in on the over. Okay, so I'll have the under 5 at -115. All right, I love it. I love it. Jose, you're gonna let me know what your say hey play today is at some point.
Well, it's actually in the Houston game, as you probably know. I mean, why is that not going to be the say hey play today? I toil in the shit, and sometimes you get shitty results, but you have to plunge back in there. So it is going to be in Houston.
You look like last night's baseball action took a lot out of you, man.
I did. I had a shitty night. It takes a toll on me when a Brian Bayo does not look good. B, the Pirates get shut out, and it's one of the largest shutout victories in the last I don't fucking know how many years. Can't put up any runs. That hurt my feelings. Ohtani, at least pitching well, made me feel a little better about myself.
Sure.
But again, spat in the mouth. And of course, Red Sox lose a series against the Rays, who I think are inferior, and now they play the Yankees. So my emotions are going to be tested, and I have not called for my rental yet still.
Oh, no. All right, a couple things here. Lee Davis saying that Roto Grinders doesn't have O'Neill projected in the starting lineup. He says it's usually pretty accurate. Let's Mike, it was something I thought of too. Okay, well, let's get into the game. And I did text you about this. I was like, "Oh, no.
You're not the only person to text me about it either." No, I wake up to another text message from a certain person on the Daily Sesh saying, "You can't skip out on the Royals today, bro." So no, here we are.
I don't know why. I don't know why this matchup has been making me laugh for about 12 hours because I texted you last night and I keep laughing at it. Here we go. 2:10 p.m. Eastern, and Jose Bouquet's battle that he chooses to fight almost rewarded him enormously last night, fading all -300 and up baseball teams. And the Kansas City Royals, who are 20 games under 500 after 80 games played, are at the Houston Astros, who are 53-28 at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Now, Justin Verlander just had two very high-profile starts against the Yankees, against the Mets, and he was absolutely spectacular. Is this a letdown spot? Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. Cy Young Award winner in the future, Chris Bubich, coming for their ass.
Chris Bubich, coming off an okay start at the Tigers. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, 3 walks. It was a 4-3 loss. 7.06 ERA, 1.87 WHIP on the season. Verlander, again, those two spectacular starts. But Verlander's been much better on the road than he has been at home this year. There's my guy Schnizzle in the house. 4-1, 2.48 ERA, 231 opponents batting average. Royals rating 240, 678 OPS versus righties. Astros 239, 743 OPS versus lefties. Royals bullpen 4.71 ERA, 1.48 WHIP. Astros 2.66 and 1.13. Let's take a look at this line history here. In the Houston opens up at -340. 30 cents of movement towards them. And then 14 minutes ago, 10 cents back. So we're sitting at -360. This total opened up at 8, juiced to the over. It's now juiced to the under. So let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. We have full line value for Chris Bubich.
Fuck yes. It's undefeated, baby. Let's go. We plunge into the filth.
Not only that, but listen to this. 9,305 tickets in. 17% of the tickets are on the Royals. And 76% of the cash.
Yeah. Do people know that people watch Say Hey Plays, Jimmy? It's a popular program that people know that this is I think now this is the highest favorite of the year so far. This has been the highest -300 so far. It's going to be a very funny game to watch. Jimmy, Royals have scored first, and I think every game in this series so far. The Astros came back in game 1. It was really disappointing there. But game 2 they get the dub there, I believe, and then game 3 we get a Royals victory. How about it, Jim? One more time. Justin Verlander, he's old, right? He's an old man. He's got hair on his chest.
His wife keeps him young,
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. They are. We're not going to talk about that. I was going to go down a dark road.
No, let's not talk.
We're not going to talk about that.
Let's
We're
not.
not going to talk about that.
Mm-mm.
About certain pictures. We're not going to talk about it.
No.
But no, I believe in the Royals. I believe in the Royals. The thing that really hurts, and it's probably bumped this line a little higher, is my one of my, I should say, Rookie of the Year candidates in Bobby Witt got smacked in the hand, I believe, yesterday. And he is not in the lineup. It's Witt, Benintendi, Melendez. I love my man, Vinny Pasquantino. I don't know. I like calling him Vinny Pasquale. I don't know who Pasquale is, but I like calling him. I know Pasquale is fucking Chuck E. Cheese's chef. There you go. But Pasquale. But yeah, Pasquale, Rivera, Oliva. And this is where it starts getting dark. After Pasquale gets dark, Nicky Lopez and Kyle Isbell are okay. But Nicky Lopez is more defense other than anything. Nice guy, Nicky Lopez, by the way. Met him when I was a bat boy. Nice guy. But ultimately, I'm taking the first 5 and full game, like I mentioned. Yeah, I have to do it. The Paul Blackburn thing is a permanent scar on me now. And yesterday, that really fucking hurt. That I can't just get like one measly run. And of course, the Rockies proceed to score in like the 6th inning too. So,
well, you are rolling here. We've got you some nice juicy numbers, plus 288 and plus 287. Let's hear what Hunter Englehart has to say about Jose Zenyatta Bouquet's look here on his Kansas City Royals.
Well, Bubic did throw 5 shutout against Houston earlier in the year.
Come on, Hunter, let's go.
But no, that's not my dog play today. I'm kind of off that. So
you said enough, man. You said enough. Honestly, that I didn't even know that. See, we're good. He's got prior success, Jimmy. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing could. But you're cash this shit, man. Cash this shit. Okay. Is there any angle that you find appealing, Hunter? Do you agree with this move towards the under?
I mean, if I had to bet it, I would look at the under, but with Bubic throwing 5 scoreless last time, and I even looked back this year and last year how he went when he had a really good outing against a team and faced that same team later in the year and saw, and I had to go back 2 years, I believe it was the Cardinals, where he pitched like he gave up 1 earned run, and then the next time he gave up 7 against them. But everything else is like the opposite way. Like he has a really shitty game, and then his next time out against that opponent that he has a shitty game, he like shoves. So like there was more of that than anything. I didn't see anything that he gets shelled after a great start. So against the team he just shut out. So. I mean, there's nothing against it with that juice. Might as well. I'm a plus
Hunter,
money guy.
I know how to intrigue you with a bet. I just put a plus and a 2 in there, and you're in. I know, Hunter. I got you.
Wow, huge numbers for you. Much the biggest at circa plus 293 on both of these. First 5 full game plus 293. Jose, you are in business. Whew, this one.
Some good comments too, a lot of good comments. Jimmy Gomez asking that I should isolate first 5 instead of taking full game. Jimmy, that's not how in the spirit of the exercise. I've got to take full game. Second thing, AJ is saying that O'Neal Cruz, by the way, is out in game 1. And yes, Hunter is.
Oh yeah, I gotta play that then.
Hunter does not break, and O'Neal out. So you guys can play that first 5 under. But yeah, a Hunter. I think I will admit this. I think 65% of my goal is to make our guests laugh in some form
Okay.
of fashion. I try.
I'll make it a little harder.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, someone who is not amused with my bullshit, Noli knows. Noli knows is never amused with my bullshit. Never amused with it. But shout out to Noli knows. I think it's because he is also of the same skin color as I am. He knows. He can see right through me. He can see right through all the bullshit. So shout out to Noli.
Shout out to Noli. So he will be on the show next week. I love it. It's you know what you do is you add more interest to these afternoon games because I know that I'll be pointing and laughing at some point at that game. So
Me and my buddies call them lunchtime coins. We say, we getting any lunchtime coins today? So that's got to get in on the day game.
The coins are coming, and let me tell you, they're gonna have a big B on there for Bubich.
Cheshire Cat's not amused by it today because he tailed you on the Pirates team total over yesterday.
Cheshire Cat, it was not a fun time. It was not a fun time.
You can't pick and choose when you tail the Pirates team total overs. You have to take them every time. But Jose's not moved on the first game. He'll let us know if he's going to move on the second game. All right, we roll on 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals 30-54, 16-23 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies 43-39, 23-21 at home. God damn, did I love this game yesterday and our breakdown of it. Josiah Gray splits 4-0, 2.01 ERA, 177 opponents batting average on the road. We trusted it. Aaron Nola with worse numbers at home, but expecting a nice performance. Then seeing Soto in the lineup, we wanted to know if at least Soto could be there. If Cruz wasn't, then we'd move on the first 5 plus a half. It all worked out. Fucking really good. All right, Citizens Bank Park here, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's start with the weather. In Philly, 79 Fahrenheit, 8.4 miles per hour, right to left. And Art Hayes says fade Adon. Yohan Adon, I'm not sure what to make of this 23-year-old. We know he's got a lot of talent. And he just faced the squad at home, and he pitched okay. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, no homer, 6 Ks, and 1 walk, and a 5-3 loss. On the road, he's been abysmal. 0-6. 8.44 ERA, 309 opponents batting average. Yeah, D. Jenkins, it felt good, man. I'm glad that you ran with it. Bailey Falter on the other side, coming off that win at home versus Cardinals. He had that one bad inning, and the Phillies came back and won that game. That was on last Friday. 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 1 walk. 4.88 ERA, 1.42 whip on the year. Has allowed 6 home runs in 24 innings. Nats, though, have no power versus lefties. And this is not something that we've seen last few years. They've had a ton of power against them. That's gone. 246, 673 OPS. Phillies versus righties, 246, 725 OPS. Nats bullpen, 4.52 ERA. Sorry, let me just remove. Oh, here we go. Hide. Nats bullpen 4.52 ERA, 1.39 whip. Phillies bullpen 3.82, 1.33 whip. So let's take a quick look at the line history in this spot. Phillies, Nationals, Adon Falter. We have a 15-cent move to the Nats. They opened up at plus 165. They're now at plus 150. The total opened up at 10 and has dropped to 9.5, slightly juiced to the over. And then we'll take a look at the cash flow in this one. 6,266 tickets in. 87% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on the Phillies. Yet there's a 15-cent move to the Nationals. Then 77% of the tickets, 76% of cash on the over, and yet the total's gone from 10 to 9.5. This is tricky. Hunter, can you shine some light on this spot? Nats, Phillies.
Yeah, I haven't with my style with plus money stuff. I didn't really see. Obviously, I like the Phillies here based on everything. But Falter worries me a little bit with the way he looks, and I was leaning towards first 5 over, but 5.5 is so many runs, and I'm a Phillies fan, so I watch the Phillies almost every day, and I've seen them put up massive numbers, and then the next day like go out and put up like 1 or 2 runs all game. So if I had to make a pick, I would make a pick on the over or the first half over, but those numbers aren't appealing enough to me to jump on it. I looked at the Phillies team total, and I think it was like still juiced like minus 120 or something like that. I think it was 4 or it might be 5.5 or something like that, but just nothing for me to hop on.
Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable with this game. Very uncomfortable with the idea that, of course, with these two guys on the mound, we have a 23-year-old and a 25-year-old, both highly thought of prospects, that this total would shoot over. 76% of tickets, 77% of cash on the over, and they've made it more appealing for you to bet the over by dropping it to 9.5. Makes me very nervous. So this would be an under or no bet, and we've seen what these two lineups look like without big pieces. You take Nelson Cruz out of the Nats lineup, you take Bryce Harper out of the Phillies lineup, and all of a sudden, they're pretty easy lineups to pitch against. So Don Max has got to start the question, having Schwarber leading off. 26 home runs. When he hit that home run yesterday, I was like, 26? Has he already got the 26 home runs? I mean, that is fucking raking.
Yeah, he'll hit like 4 or 5 home runs in like 7 games or 6 games, and then he'll go 10 games without getting a double or an extra base hit. So he's when he's on and seeing the ball, I mean, he launches some Schwarber bombs.
Yeah, he's impressive. This game makes me very uncomfortable in every way. You have all this money on the Phillies and the market move towards the Nationals. I want nothing to do with it at all. That is the afternoon action here. Hunter's on the first 5 under 4.5 at plus 116, and Pirates Reds. I'm on.
Yeah, that lineup just came in too, Jimmy. I saw someone in the chat, and I went and I checked it, and yep, they got 4 righties in the lineup. So they switched the lineup around heavily based on what was expected and what they've been usually putting out there. So they got 4 righties now. Pittsburgh does.
And Moose Money saying ballpark pal plus 24% for home runs in that Philly spot. Wow. Because I thought I had let's see what I have though in there. And it's hot, but I have it right to left. Wow. Razor Sharp picks in the house. He's on the over here for $200. It is not Gambler's First Glance. He would let us know. But he is on the over here for 200 in Nats. Phillies. Did you get in at the 9.5, Razor? Love to know that. By the way, Razor Sharp Picks Cash at Fridays is on tomorrow. And then a week from today, we'll do a full baseball show with the Big Ragu, and then opening day at Saratoga. Horses, baby. Horses. And so we're going to be focusing, for those of you who want to prepare in advance, Saratoga and Delaware Park, and then Woodbine at 5 will be what I'll be focusing on. Okay. And he got the 9.5. So they only look as though I'm on the same spot as Hunter. I'm on that first 5. I got 5. And Cashman will be there. Oh, Cashman, dope. Okay, we move on to night game, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels, 38-45, 17-22 on the road. At the Baltimore Orioles, 39-44, 21-17 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Charm City. We'll start with the weather in Baltimore, 78 Fahrenheit, 4.8 miles per hour right to left. We'll go down to 4.3 miles per hour. Then we'll talk about the line history in this one. Silseth versus Lyles. And they're saying there's been none at all. I'm just going to double check. I have a sneaking suspicion that this shit isn't updating. And it isn't updating. I'm going to stop. I'm just going to give the opening line and then where it is now, because I don't think this is updating. It opened yesterday at 10 in the morning at minus 130 for these Orioles. They're now minus 115. From a total perspective, it opened at 8.5 at minus 120. That is updating. That's where it is right now. There's been no movement on the total. Jake Burns says Orioles run line. And Racing Rachel will be on with Razor tomorrow. Beautiful. Big Ragu says, Jake, you're a fast learner. Get that cash. Get that cash. We'd like some Paddock Insight cash, man. That'd be spectacular. We'd love that. Triple K Marine's barn burner of the night. And so this is what Triple K Marine does. He picks 4 spots that he likes, and he takes them all parlayed at plus 4.5. Marlins, Cubs, Cards, and Red Sox for him. Okay, so let's go back to this Orioles-Angels spot here and see where the cash lies in it. And we have American League game here. Wow, this says Lorenzen. Do I have the wrong? Is it not Silseth? Is this? Let me sorry. Yeah, it's Silseth. Okay, so Sports Insights is off. So here it's 4,640 tickets in, and 63% of the tickets and 92% of the cash is on the Orioles. 74% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on the over. Wow. So all the money coming in on the over, and it's not moved, and all the money coming in on the Orioles, and it's moved 15 cents towards the Angels. Fireside says, ride the Orioles, number one most profitable team in baseball the past month, and now we get to play the Angels. Let's do it. Wow, I there's not a chance with the books begging you to bet the Orioles that I will be on them, but I can see why people like them. We'll start with Silseth. Last start, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, no walks, and 11-4 loss at home to the White Sox. He's not looked very good, especially of late. 5.23 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, but it's just 20 2/3 innings of sample size. But he has allowed 5 home runs in those 20 2/3. Jordan Lyles is a tricky pitcher to believe in, except at Camden, he's been very good this year. This is his first year there. 1-2, 2.92 ERA, but opponents are hitting 273 off of him. And his last start was very good. It was at the Twins, 6 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 1 walk in a 4-3 loss at the Twins. Trinelius Coleman says the Orioles beginning more runs from errors than swinging the bats. DX Filer says lean Angels and over, like the over much more. Williams wrestling in the house after a 2-0 day. Love seeing that. Earl Sports Bets joining us. He's on the over 8.5. Says don't trust Lyles or Silseth. Angels numbers versus righties have been drawn. There was a time earlier in the season when it went Dodgers, Angels, when it came to who was hitting the righties the hardest. Now they're hitting 232 with just a 703 OPS. Orioles aren't hitting righties, 229, 679 OPS. Angels bullpen being disappointing this year, but expected. 4.04 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. The Orioles bullpen has been very good in a very tough division. 3.29 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. Take it away here, Hunter. Angels, Orioles.
So I texted you about this morning, actually, because it was down to a pick'em game, and I think it still is. But I was able to find Angels first half money line for plus 102. So I hopped on that early this morning when we were talking before, and I'm assuming the money's still going to come in on the Angels. I'm hoping that they become a little bigger faves because I'd like to take them the first half minus a half as well, just because I don't trust Lyles here at all, and his batter versus pitchers numbers, they're not good at all. I mean, it looks like six guys are batting over 400 against him as far as that goes. But I mean, I like Silseth. I mean, he got rocked. His numbers are a little inflated based on one start against the Phillies. He pitched 1.2 innings, gave up 2 bombs and 4 hits and 4 runs in 1.2 innings. So that'll inflate your ERA, but he throws gas. I mean, he throws mid to high 90s, and Baltimore against hard throwing pitchers is hitting 189 with a on base percentage of .274, slugging 305, OPS .579. So if Silseth just throws it by him here, I know the O's have been hot and everybody's on the O's, especially after I think they scored, I don't know, at least 15 runs in the last 2 games, I think, or something like that. But I like Silseth here, and especially this Angels team. I mean, this Angels lineup has, on paper, should be one of the best in the leagues. And I think that win that they had against Miami last night is going to roll over into today, and I think they're going to be feeling good. And I think they're going to have the first 5 anyway. So I like them first 5. And then I also, just in case, Lyles, I do this a lot sometimes if the numbers work out, I do also have the first 5 under 4.5 at plus 100. I got it. So I give my Angels a little insurance with taking the under there, just in because I know Silseth is going to dominate, in my opinion, as long as he doesn't get into walk trouble and that sort of thing. But the question marks on Lyles. So, if Lyles does come out and he does pitch well based on, riding momentum and stuff like that, I do have under 4.5 at plus 105. And then I have the Angels first half money line at plus 102.
Both make a ton of sense. Both spots make a ton of sense here. And interestingly enough, we already talked about all this money coming in on the Orioles. Everybody in the chat, liking the Orioles. 92% of the cash on the Orioles. And this market just continually is moving towards the Angels. And the first 5 is juiced. Like that first 5 on the Angels.
They have the Angels plus a half at like minus 150 or something. I've been hoping it changes. I texted you like a couple hours ago and said I really hope this changes, but it hasn't changed at all. It's just got more juice at plus a half. Wow.
So I can't find you a decent line here on the Angels first 5. Do you know like Circa has moved the Angels first 5 to minus 118? Pinnacle, which will always give us the best lines. Generally, I shouldn't say always, but usually has moved the Angels first 5 to -113. Bet365 still has the Angels first 5 at -110. So I need to find better for you right now, just for record keeping purposes. I know for your bets, you've got plus money already on both of them. I do have that under 4.5 at +105. So
yeah, you can get. I mean, if the best ones you got -110. If we want to keep the plus money only on the show for your records, then we can just leave it out. But as long as the chat goes, if people don't mind that, then obviously I like the Angels first half.
Yeah, so we'll give you we'll give you the -110. If anybody can find better for the Angels first 5, please let me know. First 5 under 4.5 is +105. I mean, your average line is still going to be healthy in the plus money. Turnsy says, wouldn't be surprised if Trout isn't in the lineup today. And DX Father says, want to make sure Ohtani is in before I bet it. But I guess if you wake up and Ohtani and Trout are in the lineup, you're going to be happy with your +105 on the under 4.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I see the balance and how you. I get it. I like that move that you're making.
And with Ohtani throwing yesterday too. I mean, I haven't looked up what he does the day after he pitches at the plate, and I probably should have. But I thought worst case scenario, he's a little tired or whatever. Then that only helps my other first half unders too. And I know Trout is questionable too. So I mean, I kind of covered myself both sides there. So. In my mind, anyways, I could be completely wrong. I mean, we really don't know what the hell's going to happen in these games based on umpires. I mean, one pitch could completely change the whole thing. So
I like the angle. I think your angle makes a ton of sense. I'm comfortable in a spot where you see all the cash on one side, the market moving to the other side. To me, when I see something like this, I think of razor sharp picks and gamblers first glance. So I like your look there. Angels first 5 -110, and Hunters on the first 5 under 4.5 +105. Thank you, Nick. We have Nick and Billy trying to find better lines. -110 is the best they can find. Earl Sports found the first 5 -0.5 at +120. Okay, let's roll. Next up. Oh, and DX5 says Angels enter the series with a worse record than Baltimore. It's not nuts. That is crazy. Okay, we move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Miami Marlins 39-41, 19-24 on the road at the New York Mets 51-31, 26-13 at home. We're at Citi Field in Queens, New York. Oh wow, at FanDuel. Oh, FanDuel. Okay, FanDuel. That's great. Cashman says you're bringing the family to Lake George for a Saratoga trip. I can't this year because we're moving, so we have to let this year go. Unfortunately, we're moving into a house, and it's going to be. We don't have much furniture and shit like that. Like I know it's going to be a pain. So I can't this year, which sucks. But I promise you, I guarantee you, I promise next year we'll go to Lake George for a week and I'll drive in every day to Saratoga. Okay, FanDuel. So we did find you a little better. Thank you for that. Thank you, Bananas and Grapes. So because we know that the very difficult thing for our cappers is they give out official picks that are available right now as we speak. And a lot of them lock in early because that's, the smart thing to do. So thank you for finding it. We found you the first 5 at -105. Earl Sports Bet says, as a Mets fan, Marlins first 5 at +120. Can't trust Trevor Williams as a -170 favorite.
I'm on the Mets too. I got him at +150 for the first half. I saw some value there as well. So I agree with that.
+150.
I don't know what it's at now. I got that earlier.
Let's pull up what Pinnacle's got this at right now.
Looks like right now the
Marlins
best
+148 at Pinnacle. So
yeah,
we're not far from that. +148. So Marlins as well. Earl Sports on Marlins first 5. Wow, that's a +1.
Oh, we got a 150s at DraftKings right now.
Okay,
this is the
good.
best one I see.
Well, let's lock that in for you. But we're gonna, and it's 150 at 365 as well. Okay. Let's. Williams Wrestling says you got to move back to the West Coast, Jimmy. I don't want to live here, Williams Wrestling. It's just, life and family and things dictate where you live, and I'm just dealing with the situation. I'd much rather live in Vancouver. I used to tell my wife all the time that I just don't like living here. I want to move back west, but that would just start huge fights. So. family. I've always wanted to be a dad. It's perfect time in my life to be one. So I'm going to have to do it here in Toronto. But if I could get offered a big job in Vancouver, like money talks, money talks. All right, Marlins, New York Mets, Citi Field, Queens, New York. Daniel Castano and Trevor Williams. We're going to get you. So this is a full game you're going, not first five, right? Full game?
First five. First five.
Okay, yep. Shit. Sorry, let me see if that is sorry, move over here. First five. First five. At circa, wow, yeah, down to plus 138. At Pinnacle, plus 138. But you found a plus 150, you said? Hunter? At
Oh, no, I had the full game. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I see. I put it the first five, and it looks like Caesars has it at plus 140 right now.
Oh, I can get you better now. I can get you plus 145 at Bet 365.
Sounds good.
Hunter is on the Mets first. Oh, sorry, Marlins. Marlins first five at plus 145. God, sorry. I know we got to focus on this, AJ, but we're coming out. My mom is in Victoria now, so we're coming out over Christmas, and I want to go to Vancouver first, but it's such a pain in the ass traveling with two kids, very young kids, renting a car, taking the ferry, all this bullshit that we're really thinking about not even going to Vancouver, which would just going straight to Victoria because it's such a difficulty traveling. And then what would that happen if I went to Vancouver? I'd go out party with my friends and leave the family at home alone. Like it's just Taint play of the day is in Matty Ice Giants money line at plus 115 for our Matty Ice. Chief says bags on bags. What up, Chief, my man? Okay, sorry, let me get this in here for the Giants Padres game. Wow, Matty Ice back in Logan Webb. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Matty Ice. We'll go over it. We'll absolutely go over it and add another element of fun with the capping. Okay, T-Mac in the house as well. Moose Money says, May as a starter hasn't been good. These bullpens are pretty even right now. Sign me up full game and first five. And Hunter saying, Moose Money, love it when our reads are the same. We have similar styles. Yeah, I got to get Moose Money on the show. So Moose Money, let's put a date together here. I want you on the show. So let's come up with a date here soon. Okay, so let me get back to this. Okay, sorry guys, I digress. This is my fault. Let's go over. Start with the weather in New York. 76 Fahrenheit, 8.9 miles per hour, right to left, out to left field. Dies down to 6.9. I am going to refresh this. I like refreshing the weather at some point during the show, and I also like doing that with Sports Insights, refreshing it, see if things change. Let's go here and back here. And nothing has changed. It's the exact same here. While I got it up, let's discuss the situation here. 5,447 tickets in, 32% of the tickets and 82% of the cash on the Marlins. Wow. 77% of tickets, 80% cash on the under. Trevor Williams has always been a tricky pitcher for me to figure out because if you use the eye test, you're like, man, I could hit this guy. But he seems to sometimes take care of business. Now, he hasn't done that lately. Let's just take a look at the line history here. But he got off to a great start this year. That's why he's getting the opportunity to start. So no line movement at all, and all the big bets are coming in on the Marlins. Then from a total perspective, it opens up at 9 and drops to 8.5. Castano 1-1, 2.42 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, 26 innings, 15 Ks, 9 walks, just 3 home runs allowed in those 26 innings. Last start, he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned. It was a solo shot, 3 Ks, 2 walks, and a 5-3 win at the Nats. Trevor Williams coming off a rough start at home versus the Rangers, 3 2/3, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 homers, 3 Ks. At home, though, he's been better. At home, he's been better than he has been on the road. 1-1, 3.74 ERA. Opponents hitting 247 off of him. Marlins versus righties, 257.29 OPS. Mets versus lefties, 243.696 OPS. Yeah, Moose Money, hit me. If you could hit me, give me a DM on Twitter so that I can I'll figure out. We'll get you a date. All right, Marlins bullpen, 4.21 ERA, 1.33 WHIP. Mets bullpen just continues to improve, 3.53 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. Look, I agree with you. I think this is just going to be straight tail. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about why you are on the Marlins first 5, and then we'll move on.
I like Castano in this spot here, based on his numbers here. I mean, we talked situational splits last time, if you remember, which is, numbers when there's no one on base, numbers when there's runners on base, and runners when there's when they're in scoring position. And his, with no one on, batters are hitting 321 against him. But as soon as runners get on, he locks in, and his average drops, almost cuts in half. The average drops to 0.191 average against. And then when there's runners in scoring position, he's batters are hitting 152 off him with an OPS under 500. It's 486. So when you have runners in scoring position and your OPS in that situation is under 500, I mean, that's pretty incredible there. And that's with 33 at bats with runners in scoring position, which is just as many as runners on with 47 at bats and no one on 53. So, I mean, his numbers for that reason alone just gives, with plus 140, plus 150, and you combine that with everything that people have said about Trevor Williams, the value's there. So that's why I'm on that.
I like it. I'm going to run with you on it. Lamar
and also the the Marlins. Another stat I have here, which I read down, was they're hitting. Where is it here? Right hand. I think it was their fly ball, ground ball thing. Go ahead. You keep going. I'll find what I was looking for.
Oh, it's all good. Lamont Williams max betting the Astros -1.5. Lamont Williams, thank you for jumping in and giving us your max bet. His max bet used to be must know when we started out. Everybody needed to know what Lamont Williams' max bet was. Thank you for taking the time to jump in. Off to work now. Jeffrey Blue says, can you live a lot better for your money in San Antonio? Yeah, but my wife's family's all over. They grew up in Parkdale. They're all here. Two cousins across the street, mother-in-law in this building, my mother-in-law, her mom, her brother in this building. So, yeah. But getting insurance for the family is expensive in America. It's some cities more than others. But yeah, definitely I could. But okay, so there you go. Lamont is in, and I'm going to tail this spot, Hunter, Marlins first five. I'm not going to bet it during the show. But plus 145 is the best line you can get, and it's at Bet365, which is what my local is. Did you want to add anything to this spot, Hunter, before we move on?
Nope. That's where I'm at on that one.
All right. Well, if Jose is available to jump back on, I would like to hear what he has to say about this next game. A big one, 7:10 p.m. Eastern, New York Yankees, 59-23, 25-14 on the road at the Boston Red Sox, 45-37, 21-18 at home. We're at Fenway Park in Boston. Let's start with the weather in Boston. 74 Fahrenheit, 10.8 miles per hour out to left field. There he is. Jose Zenyatta, lamb chop, one hole bouquet, 10.8 miles out to left, stays that way throughout the game. Wind blowing out to the Green Monster. Take a look at the line history in this Yankees-Red Sox battle. It used to be a great joy for Jose to bet against Garrett Cole, and I know it still is, but here you're not getting a ton of love. There's been a 5-cent move to the Yankees, opening up -160, now -165, so a very small move. This total opened up 8.5, and it is now at 9. Still juiced to the under at -120. Let's see where the cash lies in this huge, huge game here. We have Cole Winkowski, 7,679 tickets in. 26% of the tickets, 39% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox. Maybe that's why it's not moving quickly. It's a 50-50 split with the tickets, but 91% of cash on the over. We've seen it go from 8.5 to 9. Big Ragu is on the Red Sox team total over 3.5 at -115. Garrett Cole coming off an okay start at Cleveland. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, solo shots, 6 Ks, and 3 walks. 7-2, 2.99 ERA, 1.01 whip on the year. 117 Ks in 93 1/3, but has been hurt by the long ball. 14 home runs against in 93 1/3. Josh Winkowski, his last start was almost exact numbers as Garrett Cole. It was a 3-1 loss to the Cubs when he went 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, just 1 was earned, 6 Ks and 1 walk. 3-2, 3.12 ERA, 1.38 whip on the year. Yankees versus righties, 243, 762 OPS. Red Sox can hit 258, 723 OPS. Yankees bullpen, 2.67 ERA, 1.12 whip, being so good. They allow 1 run less per 9 innings than the Red Sox bullpen at 3.67 and 1.23. Let's start with you, Jose. Your Red Sox in action today. and your nemesis, Garrett Cole, on the bump. Take it away.
Yeah, Kermit on the bump here today. I love Ragu's team total look. I find Yankees Red Sox games to be very dangerous for me. But I like the over in this game as well, truthfully. So over 8.5 and a team total over 3.5 would be my looks here. Now, Josh Winkowski, I find fascinating. He's just like I've been saying, an onion pulling back the layers of Josh Winkowski. He struggles his first start when he was nervous coming up to the bigs. He's pitched pretty well since then. His last start, he didn't get shit for run support. And after the game, he comes out and says, yeah, Wrigley was all right. It was pretty stock standard plays, and just shits all over Wrigley Field. Just shits all over it. And he's going to get a warm reception today. And I think he'll pitch pretty well today. So I would be surprised if he goes like 6 shutout, obviously. I'm more pitching well in my head for him would be like 5 2-earned runs, something like that. And then I could easily see Cole giving up runs here because the Red Sox kind of own Garrett Cole. It's kind of the genesis of why I find Garrett Cole just to be the most ridiculous, overrated, overpaid player in baseball. It's kind of hilarious when you don't pitch well against your rival. It tells me a lot about you, truthfully. As I would look up these Red Sox numbers, I find it fascinating here. Let's look them up. Against the Red Sox in his career, he's 5-3 with a 4 ERA and 11 starts. His last 2 years, namely because they're obviously earlier in the career against when he was the Pirates. I will ignore that in the Houston days when he was actually good, and then went to the Yankees and turned out to be bad. In 2021, he went 2-2 with a 5 ERA of 4.91 in 4 games started, 22 innings pitched there. And then in 2022, he pitched 1 game. So this year, 4 innings. It was opening day, right? It was opening day, I believe. It was the first game. It's 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. So I just think the Red Sox can get off on Garrett Cole. It's not maybe the other people in the league, other teams in the league are more intimidated from Kermit. But I just don't believe in him against the Red Sox. Namely, I'll say this: he's the worst starting pitcher in his rotation. Him and Jordan Montgomery are battling it out for it. So Luis Severino is pitching a lot better than him, mainly because Pedro Martinez took him under his wing and taught him how to pitch. And then Nestor Cortez using his power of the mustache, So Kermit, the worst starter in his rotation with Jordan Montgomery, I would fade him here. So over and team total for me.
Over and team total here. Let's grab it for you. So I found you the best 8.5. It's -118 at Circa because most books have moved to 9. Let's get you a team total. While I'm shopping for a team total, let's hear what Hunter Englehart has to say about the greatest rivalry in baseball: Yankees Red Sox.
Sports.
I almost said sports. I came so close to saying sports, but
sports.
I came so close to saying sports. Take it away, Hunter.
It might be sports.
Anyway,
I don't know, Packers Bears, but I'm a biased Packers. Anyways, so I mean, just like everything Jose said, I mean, Garrett Cole is literally, calling the Red Sox daddy for the past 2 years or whatever you want to say, just gets smashed there. And then another thing that's big is the wind is blown straight out to the monster. So when you have, a Yankees lineup that could hit a routine pop up to left field in 90% of other ballparks that are going to either go off the wall or go over, you got to worry about the Yankees being able to put up runs, especially against, I don't even know how to say this guy's last name, this Pollock's last name, but
Winkowski.
Winkowski, there we go. Yeah, and I saw someone in the chat mention his game log, who he's pitched against before, and his offenses really haven't been great. So the first half total opened up at 4.5 around even money, but now it's -13, -25 at 4.5. The only thing that keeps me off the over full game is I think it's like you said, it was 8.5. Most of them are 9, so that's 5 runs. 5 runs that have to be scored after the first inning. The books are expecting, and with that Yankees bullpen, just kind of keeps me off it. So if I were to play on this game, it would definitely be the first 5 over 4.5.
And Yeah, both of your breakdowns make a ton of sense to me. I found you in over 3.5 at -108. Team total over 3.5 -108. It's 3.5 -118 at Circa, but at -108 at Pinnacle, and we got you the over 8.5 at -118. So you are locked in. Seihei plays of the day in his beloved Red Sox game. What a fun game it's going to be tonight. All of the different. What's so much fun when you cap with people over and over and over and over again is you know who they love and who they despise, and then it adds all these more elements of fun when you watch the game. And I love your hatred for Kermit.
Jimmy, I'll admit, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at my calendar. I've got September 13th to the 17th written down. I'm tearing up thinking about going to Fenway Park and watching the Red Sox beat the Yankees in person. So I'm very excited about that. And oh my God, I will fucking bust a nut if Garrett Cole pitches, because I will. Because one of the games I'm at, I'm like close to the bullpen. Oh my God, just please. Please.
I've been there once, and I went with my dad and saw the Red Sox beat the Indians, and it was fucking magic. It was fucking magic. So
I've been once, or I guess technically twice, but I've been to Boston once. My first game I was there, it was against Red Sox Orioles, and of course it was against the Orioles because I've seen the Orioles play a bunch of times this is when I lived in Virginia. It was a Yoenis Cespedes walk-off for the Red Sox. So shout out to him. That was again, I said this yesterday, I believe. The Yoenis Cespedes era, I was all in. I was like, this is the next great human baseball player. And then he snapped both his ankles hunting boars. But whatever. And then the next day was a Clay Buchholz, like a 7-inning shutout performance too, who I saw in person when I was bat boying, and I literally almost shit my pants. I love Clay Buchholz. And that's when I realized Clay Buchholz, a beanpole too.
Yeah, very skinny. Very skinny. Well, Jose's in. Seihei plays of the day over 8.5 -118, and Red Sox team total over 3.5 -108, and he will be live at Storied Fenway Park in mid-September. Thank you for jumping on, Jose. Let's move on to Cardinals Braves, and we arrive at none other than Oh, okay. Sorry, I just got. Sorry, my bad, Hunter. One. Okay, so we got Hunter for 25 more minutes, so we got to maybe hit the gas. If there's any late game, well, I think we'll get to them. Okay, let's go. Ron Crawford, Cardinals, Braves. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is on the Braves -1, and Top Set has the Braves first 5. Matthew Liberatore, 2-1, 5.66 ERA, 1.79 WHIP, 18 Ks and 20 2/3, 11 walks and 4 home runs. In his last start, he went 2 2/3, and he got touched at the Phillies. 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 Ks and 1 walk. Going up against Spencer Strider, the Stash, 4-2, 2.87 ERA, 1.01 WHIP. He is being so good this year. 90 strikeouts in 59 2/3. My goodness. 90 strikeouts, and he's allowed 3 home runs in 59 2/3. His last start, another example of how good he's been. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 11 strikeouts and 1 walk. At home, he's had a tougher time. His spectacular starts really have come on the road. At home, he's still good. 2-1, 3.81 ERA, 241 opponent's batting average. Cards versus righties, 249, 715 OPS. Braves versus lefties, 258, 793 OPS. This Cards bullpen is awoken, finally. 3.49 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. Braves bullpen's been strong, very strong over a lot. It had a tough first month, and then it been on. 3.20 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. All right, let's start with the weather in Atlanta. 90 Fahrenheit, feels like 98. 5.8 miles per hour out to left field, and then 4.9 miles per hour out to left center. Let's move over to the line history here. The line history in this Braves spot, Liberatore versus Strider. The Braves open up at -200. They're now -230. A 30-cent move towards the Braves. The total opened up at 9, -120 to the over. A 5-cent move to the under. It's now -115. So we've seen a 30-cent move to the Braves. 6,430 tickets in. 78% of the tickets, and 95% of the cash is on the Braves. 48% of tickets, 69% of cash is on the over. Take it away here, Hunter. We have Cards, Braves.
So I don't have anything on this game. I think it's priced about right. I mean, the Braves right now against left-handed starters are hitting like 270. It's 268, but they're absolutely crushing left-handed starters, and nothing in Liberatore's numbers makes me think that he can get a hold of this and tame this Braves team when they get going. And I do like Strider too. I mean, 90 Ks already for him and 4-2. So I think it's priced right. The only thing I would think of is money line on the Braves, but that's around even money, and I really don't like to take a home team money line. Obviously, you lose at bats if you lose the bottom of the ninth if everything goes all right. But as far as lines go, nothing here that I like to target, or nothing here that I'm on.
Yeah, it's expensive. If I wanted to move on Strider, his home numbers aren't spectacular, but if I wanted to move on him, I would. Oh, geez, I said minus 230. It's now minus 245. So a 45-cent move from the opening line. And the run line is up to minus 120. It's just too expensive. Too expensive. And you have a Cardinals offense that might be happy to see Strider on the mound after what Fried did to them last night. So I can understand why people like the Braves here. 95% of the cash on them, market moving towards them. I mean, where could you find an angle? I mean, what would it be? Braves first 5 -1, which I don't want, would be still about a minus 120. So no interest for me here. But Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play of the day, Atlanta -1. We move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers 34-47, 11-23 on the road at the Chicago White Sox, 39-41, 17-23 at home. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. We don't talk about what happened the day before. It's helped my capping a lot, unless it's travel. But it's possible that it could be a turning point in the White Sox season, their comeback against the Twins yesterday. It's possible. 80 Fahrenheit, 6.9 miles per hour, left to right, slightly in, stays between 6.9 and 6. These White Sox, they got to get hot. They got to get hot at home. And we saw the difference with this lineup with Eloy Jimenez in it. And they're only 17-23 at home. And they haven't fired La Russa. They haven't shown any sign of panic. Billy Fraser says White Sox only 3 games back in the loss column for the division lead. Okay. And Big Ragu says Strider's made strides earlier in the year was bad, but says look to regress here versus a card team that can hit righties. Beware. He says he's either fire or gets crushed. Huge numbers delay. Earl Sports bets on the White Sox Tigers first 5 under 4.5 and White Sox -1.5 says looking for Cease to dominate the Tigers like he has done every time. And I like Bo Brisky. On the other side. Now, we've talked about Brisky coming up with the Tigers because the Tigers have all these first-round picks. He's not one of them. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe he's a late, like 27th round pick. I'd have to pull it up, but he's not one of those, the Manning and the big group of Scooball, all those very, very high draft picks. So let's take a look. Oh, we've gone over the weather. My fault. Let's take a look at the line history here in Chicago with these White Sox. You have Cease opening at -250 and still there, according to this site, which hasn't been updated. Still there. This total opened up at 8. Opened up at 8.5 and it's dropped to 8, and it's -115 to the under, which tells me that they think Brisky can have a good start. And it's on the road where he's looked bad. At home, he's been nice, and he's coming off a nice start, quality start, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, 3 walks, and a 4-3 win at home over the Royals. On the road, he's 0-5, 6.09 ERA, opponents hitting 272 off of him. Cease coming off a nice start at the Giants, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 4 Ks, 3 walks. And at home, he's been dynamite. Actually, he hasn't really. He's got a 3.04 ERA, but opponents are hitting 186 off of him, 2.51 ERA on the year. Tigers versus righties is 219, 603 OPS. White Sox 248, 665 OPS. Tigers bullpen 2.98 ERA, 1.17 WHIP have been so good this year. White Sox bullpen has struggled, 4.24 ERA, 1.35 WHIP. So let's just take one look here at the cash. 7,073 tickets in. 16% of tickets, 21% of cash on the Tigers, 56% of tickets, 98% of the cash on the under. And we've seen a move a half run to the under. Noli Knows says Cease is on fire. Chairman Kim says Tigers plus 1.5 value. Joey Zanichelli says Cease 10 and over. So Tigers all wins by 2+ runs. Billy Friedrich says Tim Anderson's ice cold 9 for 53 his last 2 weeks. And top sets on the White Sox Dodgers parlay. D. Jenkins says if this is close, after 5, Tigers could steal it with the bullpen compared to the White Sox bullpen. Let's hear what Hunter Englehart has to say. Take it away, Tigers, White Sox.
So I got it at first 5 under 4 at plus 100. I know now it's like 4.5. I don't know if you can really find under 4 anyway. Oh yeah, there's a couple places. But anyways, I like the first. I'm a big Brisky guy. I think I took him last time on the show when he was going against Texas, and I think he threw like 7 or something shutout innings. And yeah. I know this White Sox team is a little different than the Texas lineup, but his road numbers are also he didn't get the best draw on the road. He's had the Dodgers away, he's had Houston away, he's had Minnesota away, he's had New York Yankees away. So he hasn't pitched against easy lineups, and I don't want to say the White Sox are an easy lineup, but with Cease on the other side, who like you said and everyone in the chat is just absolutely just shoving right now. If Bo Brisky can give up 2 runs or less, maybe even 3 runs or less, I think that the under first half under 4. I don't think that's too much to ask to give up less than 3 runs in 5 innings, and it might, but I think he's good enough to give up less than 3 runs or less, and I think Cease is just going to absolutely shove it down the Tigers' throat. Like, I mean, just absolutely make them look like a AAA team in my opinion. So I'm on the first half. I got it at under 4 at plus 100 early this morning, but obviously I like the 4.5 too. Like I think some people in the chat were on. So
yeah, the 4 I can get you a plus 109.
Then
first 5,
I will take it.
First 5 under 4. At plus 109.
And the other thing which is good with Brisky is he seems like, you have to face him because he's never faced anyone on this White Sox lineup. And then when you go to his splits, first time in the game, people are hitting 259 off him, second time 260, and then third time with 55 at bats, they're hitting 200. So he's a guy where it seems to just get if not the same, harder, and usually second time and third time numbers are increased as far as that goes. And then he's another guy where scoring position, he has his best numbers where people are hitting 200 off him when they're in scoring position. So I think he can keep them under 3 in my opinion with the White Sox. White Sox at home either. As a team, they hit 20 or 30 points worse at home, and then 20 or 30 points worse against right-handed starters compared to left-handed starters, I believe. So with all those things in mind, I'm on the first half under.
I like the look.
Oh, and we have wind blown from left field into the first base dugout as well at like 6 or 7 miles an hour, it looks like.
I like this look. Berkey, I hate hearing that first half over 78.5 that lost by a hook. I would have cashed $1,000 parlay. Damn, Berkey. Sorry that didn't come through for you, my guy. Berkey, great stand-up comic up here in Canada, headliner. I celebrated his birthday a couple days ago. I like both these looks. What about do you have any interest? Would you have any interest in the White Sox first 5 -1, or is it a situation where you think Brisky's capable of having a really nice start?
I hold grudges, which is why I'm not on the Braves too. I know the money's, but I lost. I bet on Anderson getting rocked, and he went out and shoved in the Cardinals Braves. So like I'm staying away from that matchup now. And then yesterday, Lance Lynn screwed me, so I'm not betting on the White Sox today for that simple reason of. I was on them yesterday, and they didn't work out too well for me. And I think, I mean, even I know you do your like -1s, and you take your minus 0.5 and whatever the calculator or whatever does it. But I have enough action already going today that I don't need to reach for something that I'm not confident in.
I like it.
Or I guess.
Ooh, what's this?
Breaking hockey news. Chris Letang, believe it is. It is Chris.
Yeah.
6 years, $6.1 million deal with the Penguins.
What?
That's awesome.
How old?
I'm a big Letang guy. I grew up in northeastern Pennsylvania, so I grew up watching the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. And whenever I go back home, I always go to games, and I had season tickets when I was a kid. So I'm a big Penguins fan, even though I'm closer to Philadelphia. So I love Letang. That's
He's
awesome.
35.
He averaged like 28 minutes a game last year, like a 20-year-old.
What do you think's going to happen when he's 40?
I don't know. We'll deal with him like we deal with Malkin.
Oh my God, that is a horrific signing for you guys. That's going to be a weight around you. Look, that is just fucking nuts. That is so fucking crazy for an offensive defenseman.
He's got to be a good locker room guy too, I would guess, if they're going to pay him that much.
He fucking better be. He fucking better be. Wow. Okay, the Tigers White Sox first 5 under 4 plus 109 for Hunter. I like the look, and I like your breakdown on Brisky, and I want the White Sox -1 as well. Man, that makes me so happy when good teams sign players like that. It just brings me so much joy. Oh, good. I can't wait. All right, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Rockies 35-47, 12-26 on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks 37-45, 21-23 at home. Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. This game is wild. Ronnie says Montreal would have given him $8 million. Yeah, God, 6 years. It's crazy. Gomber versus Keuchel. I can't wait to hear you talk about this game. And okay, we got to move quickly so we can. Joey Zannicelli says it's fake Keuchel date, and look, I get it, but the market is being extremely interesting in this spot, and you have Keuchel, who's a very smart pitcher who just faced this Rockies team and got destroyed by them. And the market is not moving or wasn't moving towards the Rockies. Shocked. I'm just shocked at all of this. You have Austin Gomber coming off a poor start himself against this ball club. So you have two lefties going up against a team again. This is just wild here. So Gomber 4-7, 6.53 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. Last start against these guys, the Diamondbacks, 5 2/3, 6 4 runs, 2 homers, 2 Ks, in 11-7 win at home. Keuchel, he was who he went against. Allowed 7 runs, 6 of them were earned. So Keuchel for the White Sox was 2-5 with a 7.88 ERA, 2.16 WHIP, 20 Ks and 20 walks in 32 innings. Then with Arizona, he has a 9.64 ERA, 1.93 WHIP in 9 1/3, 10 Ks, 6 walks. The Rockies destroy lefties, 295, 811 OPS, and the Diamondbacks don't hit them, 229, 666 OPS. Rockies bullpen, 4.75 ERA, 1.39 WHIP. Diamondbacks have the same WHIP, but bullpen ERA at 4.39. Let's take a look at the line history because it is a wild one in this one. You have a 5-cent move to the Diamondbacks. I mean, that's just wild and so confusing. Oh, wow. No, it's changed drastically. Holy shit. There is a 25-cent move to the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are now -105 after opening up at +120. A huge move. This total is at 905 or 9.5, excuse me. There's been a 10-cent move to the under. How does any of this make any sense? So they last faced each other in the thin air in Colorado. Now they're playing, with the roof on. But this is so confusing. Let's see what Moose Money has to say. It says, Arizona, there's been a bit of an improvement versus lefties. Been hitting over 700 OPS the last few weeks. Topset says Keuchel's last stand for real. And on Sports Insights, Arizona has full line value. So Arizona Diamondbacks full line value, Kansas City Royals with full line value, and no one else with even a sliver. 4,009 tickets in, 49% of the tickets, and 63% of the cash is on Arizona. Then you have 68% of tickets, 71% cash on the over. Can you make some sense of this? Why would people be backing Keuchel? Take it away, Hunter. I can't wait. This is the game I'm most interested in hearing a breakdown on. Rockies, Diamondbacks.
I think they're fading Gomber more than they are backing Keuchel, and that's kind of like, I mean, I looked at all the stats too, you know, batter versus pitcher and all these other splits, and I mean, everything points to Gomber just getting absolutely destroyed. If that makes any sense about it. I mean, right-handed hitters against him are absolutely just going off, and then I mean, his situational splits, batters are hitting close to 300, no one on. Runners on base, they're hitting over 320. Scoring position, they're hitting 360 against him. Bases loaded, 600. First time through the order, 276. Then second time, 295. I mean, just Gomber lost me a couple, I think 2 or 3 bets that I had on him last year when he was with the Cardinals, and I've just fade him now. Fade. And as far as Keuchel goes, I mean, he's old. He knows how to pitch. Sometimes he can get in trouble with walks and that sort of thing. You can see 3 walks last game, 3 walks the game before that, 2 walks the game before that. So I'm leaning towards the over if I had to pick anything right now. But I actually have before that big swing with the D-backs, I took the D-backs full game. I don't take a lot of full games, but I took the D-backs full game, parlayed with the Angels full game for like a minimum bet, just a little parlay that I liked. So you don't have to put that as an official pick, just for everyone watching that. I do like the D-backs full game here.
Wow. I mean, that's just gives me complete pause. It makes me just want to.
Yeah, and what Moose Money said too here in the chat with the Rockies have been getting. I'm sorry, the D-backs have been hitting a lot better against lefties as of late, in my opinion, and also that too. So,
and another thing Moose is saying is the Rockies versus lefties at home is an angle he uses. On the road, doesn't play out as consistently. Wow, did you want to make the Diamondbacks an official pick, or is the move?
No. I just for the people who are watching and stuff, that I do like them full game. I have them in a 2-game parlay with them and the Angels full game money line.
Diamondbacks Angels is the parlay. Yeah. Wow. Dad Fences, I've loved the over in Diamondbacks Rockies for years and love this one. Wow. Coco says, for real, just basically found you guys on YouTube the other day, wondering if these shows are all live every day. If anyone sees this. Yeah, Coco, my man. Thank you so much for your kind words. Welcome to the fam here. We'll never sell you anything. We just want to cap together and work together, beat the books together, get that cash together. And yeah, we have live shows nonstop throughout the day. So after this at 3:10 p.m., Sharpie has his prize picks where he focuses on the player prop market. At 4 p.m., we have WNBA with Parlay Tees. At 5:30 p.m., Jose Bouquet hosts Say Hey Plays of the Day. And here on our show, the only thing I can promise you, we can't promise you winners, but we can promise you honesty and transparency in our record keeping. And sometimes it's embarrassing, and we deal with it. That's the only thing we can promise you, is that just no bullshit. It's a very fraudulent industry, this one, and we are really focused on being different. Okay, this game just shocking to me and exciting that Keuchel's getting love. All right, let's move on. 9:40 p.m. Eastern, and we already talked about Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. Now we have arrived at our other specialty play of the day. Taint plus money taint, something he loves to do here. Taint, Matty Ice is on the San Francisco Giants and Logan Webb. We have 2 games left, so Hunter's gonna have to leave at 1 p.m. So the last 2 games, Cubs Dodgers and Blue Jays Mariners, I'll cap with Jose. And after this game, Hunter, we'd like to know if you have any plays on those games that you want me to lock in.
This is the last game I have a play on, so
okay, perfect.
Works out perfect.
Sweet. Okay, and Moose Money saying Sharpie crushes those MLB player props. Jose's legit on his Say Hey. Very cool. It says 100% the best place to go on YouTube or Pub Sports Radio. I love that. Man, I thank you for saying that, Moose Money. And we do live shows at night when we live bet together, and we're working on getting the graphics so when we actually make the bet live, that then we can have the graphic come up on the screen, because that's been one of the difficult. We're going to have that all figured out, especially for football season. There's going to be a lot of live betting action. We got some exciting stuff to tell you guys about football season coming up, and I'm very excited to be involved in live shows with you guys. But let's go back here. Giants, Padres, Petco Park in San Diego, California. We're going to go to the weather first here. 72 Fahrenheit, 7.2 miles per hour left to right, and then it becomes very slightly, but it's left to right. 5.9 it ends up at. We'll go over to the line history in this one. Giants, Padres, Webb versus Musgrove, and there has been a 10-cent move to the Padres. They opened up at minus 130, and they are now at minus 140. From a total standpoint, it opened up at 6.5, and it went up to 7 at 7:08 this morning, and it's come back to 6.5. And when it went first back to 6.5, there must have been some huge bets made on the under 7, because it went from 7 at minus 120 to the under to 6.5 minus 120 to the under, which doesn't usually happen. Usually it'll go, it'll be plus 100 to the under, but they made a huge move to the 6.5. And then since then, over has been taking money. There's been a 20-cent move to the over, but it is at 6.5 minus 120. So since the opening line, a 5-cent move to the over 6.5. Let's take a look at where the cash lies here in this one. 5,964 tickets in, 77% of the tickets on Musgrove, 81% of the cash. Then 69% of the tickets on the over and 60% of the cash. We don't have enough time with Hunter left, so I'll talk about the stats and break it down a little bit after we hear Hunter's breakdown so that we can get him off on the road in time. Take it away here, Hunter. How are you hammering this Webb Musgrove breakdown?
So I'm a big Musgrove guy. Even when he was with the Pirates, I made some money off him when he was with the Pirates. But I'm on the Padres first half minus a half in this one. Strictly because of the splits that the batter versus pitcher splits, as well as his lefty pitching splits against left-handed batters. There's an 80-point difference in righty-lefty against him. Lefties are hitting 280 and righties are hitting around 200, 208. Lefties OPS 812. And this Padres lineup is usually balanced pretty good with lefty righty back and forth with a switch hitter Profar leading off. So with Profar, Cronenworth, and Hosmer, if you go look at these, Cronenworth's hitting 333 with 12 ABs, Hosmer's hitting 310 ABs, and Profar, I believe, is also Profar's 4 for 8, 500. So when I look at that, and then I see that his road record his road ERA is not good. He pitches 3.77 ERA on the road, and last year 2021 he had a 4 ERA on the road compared to a 2 ERA at home. So everything says that Webb is just not as good when he's not at home, and Musgrove has just been dominant. I mean, you look at his situational stats: 200 first time through the order, 190 runners on base, 182 runners in scoring position. He's another guy where first 2 times through the order, batters are hitting under 200 against him. And then his lefty righty, I mean, lefties are hitting 197, righties are hitting 210. So between all that stuff, and I know his pitching splits aren't great against the Giants. Listella's hitting over 300, Jock Peterson over 500, or at 500, Crawford 400. But in this situation here right now, they lost 2 in a row to the Mariners at home, and then they wait, and the Giants are coming into town, and with that kind of West Coast rivalry kind of deal. I think that the Padres are going to be ready tonight, and I think they're gonna rally around their ace and take down Webb. So I know that was a lot, but just going through the thoughts in my head, rambling sometimes. But
no, that helps, and I do the same thing. So I can find you a first 5 minus half of plus 122, a nice number at circa. But I have a question: does Musgrove coming off the IL or the COVID IL? So he comes off COVID. He was on COVID for the minimum, right? He only missed. He had 7 days off between starts instead of 5, and then he got destroyed for the first time all year. Then he came back and had a nice performance against the Dodgers. You think he's back in his rhythm and he'll be back doing what he was doing in the first chunk of the season.
Yes, based on what he's shown, at least based on situational stats and that sort of thing, and being at home. Now, if this game wasn't at home, I might just stay off it. But I think I got it a little higher than plus 122 earlier. I think I got it 125 or 128 or something like that earlier. But you know me, I'm all about plus money, and when I can get a guy like Joe Musgrove for plus 120 plus against the guy who's everything away. His away stats and the bat versus pitches numbers, and against lefties with Logan Webb, I'm gonna hop on it every time. I think it's gonna hit more than 50% of the time, and the way I cap, all I need to do is hit 50%, and I still make money. So that's my thinking on those.
I love it. And Billy Friedrich found you a plus 125 as well. I love it. Hunter, I'm going to review all your action and stuff while you're gone. I know you got to run. Thank you so much for rolling with us. I can't wait to do this again with you. We'll get you back locked up in with us on the show. Thank you for your time, man.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having. Hopefully we can continue like last time. So hopefully we can have another
I legitimately thought we were going to go 12-0, and it was just like giggling to myself. There's his Twitter right there on the screen at the Englehart. If you guys could all follow Hunter, we're going to get him more active on Twitter now that he's rolling with us. So please follow him. And we got some great ideas. Hunter's got some great ideas of stuff he's going to do in the second half of the baseball season for us here at Pub Sports Radio. So please give him the love and support him and follow him. Hunter, I love it, man. Great work. Can't wait to do this again, my man.
It'll be fun. See you guys.
There you go. What's up?
Another trade. This name I actually know, so I think this is a pretty big trade. The defending Stanley Cup champions have traded for a goalie. Alexander Georgiev. Going to that's what they call them, the Rockies, the Avalanche.
Sure.
For a I don't know what pick that round is. For a third and a fifth round pick. So Georgiev's going to the Avalanche. So that means Darcy Kemper is going to hit the open market.
I heard Stanley Cup champions, but we'll take Stanley Cup.
That's English is hard.
You know what? Let's talk about it. So I think the Letang deal is absolutely nuts. Absolutely asinine. Is going to hurt the Penguins, which makes me so happy. And I think that that Georgiev is capable of being. We don't know what he's capable of. So one thing that happened with Georgiev, and I know we're going to get back to baseball right here. And Jose, I want you to stay on for the final Giants Padres breakdown. But Shesty being so spectacular must have hurt Georgiev's confidence. Because they're two young guys, and I guess, Shesty's 26. He's not that young, but that's what I think happened, and I think it's a good risk to take. And I think that Georgiev is capable of being a good goaltender, and we'll see. We'll see. Stick with us here. I want to hear what your thoughts are in this game. Moose Money says, but sometimes you start a game with a narrative and look for it in the game. Musgrove couldn't condition or throw much during COVID. Not a surprise he got tired in his first game back. And Nolino says he didn't really get destroyed, one rough inning in the sixth, but he did say he was fatigued in that one.
I've got one more trade for you, by the way, or at least conversations.
Yeah, let's hear.
Ottawa and Buffalo are in deep conversations about Matt Murray. The Sabres are on his no-trade list, but, maybe we fix that up.
Who wants Matt Murray? Interesting. I love it. Well, let's talk about this Logan Webb, Joe Musgrove spot right here, because I find it all I find this game very interesting because Logan Webb on the road does not look good. Well, he doesn't look bad. 2-1, 3.77 ERA, 215 opponents batting average. He's coming off a loss at home to the White Sox. And I don't think, and this guy's just 25 years old, which is hard to believe because he's been around here and he's been important to this Giants team for a while. 6,103 tickets in, 76% of the tickets, 81% of the cash on the Padres, and then 69% tickets, 60% cash on the over. Musgrove at home, 3-1, 2.61 ERA, 214 opponents batting average. He's been a little better on the road. These Giants are hitting 236, 714 OPS versus righties. Padres 238, 682 OPS. And Padres bullpen's been very, very good of late. What do you think of? We have Taint on the Giants money line at plus 115. We have Hunter on the Padres first 5 minus a half at plus 125. Where do you lean on the spot? What are you thinking?
It's an exceptionally tough game. 6.5 is a super low total. It's been a while since we've seen one. And I think is actually because you said this was a rematch, right? Because this was a rematch. Musgrove coming off of COVID in the first start, right?
Let me just go make sure that was the situation here.
Well, let us know in the chat if it was, but I think it's interesting. Oh, and by the way, Moose Money, a preeminent Padres expert, also saying, "Be careful. What it's worth, the Padres had a black tie affair last night, kind of like a potential prom hangover."
Jesus,
you never know about that. I probably, I guess, lean towards an under here, but I really don't have an opinion on this game yet.
It was the Phillies. It was the Phillies he got touched by.
Okay. But it's a super tough game for me to decide on, obviously. I think Musgrove is a top, 3, 4, 2 Cy Young guy this year in the NL, right up there with Sandy. He's been phenomenal. And I'm going to pull up my splits real quick, too, double check here, because both these teams against righties typically do not inspire confidence either. Against righties in the last, because I just put it in for the last month or so, since the beginning of last month till today. The Padres are 10th against righties, 111 weighted runs created plus. That's pretty surprising. While the Giants are at 97 at 20 weighted, or 20th, I should say, 97 weighted runs created plus there. You can easily see why it's gone from, or it is a minus 140 from Musgrove. I probably would lean towards Musgrove here, honestly. You've obviously got your home road splits for Logan Webb. I just think that it's I don't know if it's safer, but first 5 minus a half plus 115, I don't hate it all.
Yeah, with all the guys at a black tie event, you'd have to think that they'd be getting watched pretty closely. It's not a situation where you'd be.
Yeah, I think the days of those events getting out of hand and the guys getting super litty bop are a little behind us now, unfortunately. I wish that was the case now. But Moose Money saying that their defense is their biggest issue and the defense can ruin great pitching. Machado back as well.
Yep. Okay. I haven't. Sorry, let me just
it's obviously very early, so we won't have confirmed lineups. But obviously Machado needed in third base defense as well.
He's been back for a few days. Yeah.
Okay, so I ultimately just pass on the game. It's one of those difficult things. And Moose Money letting us know it's the outfield defense that he's worried about, which is pretty shocking to see in the major leagues nowadays. Outfield defense being a struggle, but pass game. I think it's just too tough to say at this point with 2 elite pitchers. Lean towards the first 5 with the Padres. Full game obviously is a different story. Every time I was watching the Giants last night, and it seems like every time I see Duvall come in for them now, he's actively trying to blow the lead for them. He's not going to pitch today. He threw like 40 pitches yesterday and almost blew the game. Then got taken out with the bases loaded. So the Giants bullpen is obviously something that does not inspire confidence either. And as we know, Peter Loshak has the Padres as one of the best bullpens in baseball now. Additions to their bullpen like Nick Martinez, our former friend that we used to fade every start into the bullpen, now helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Why would I focus on the first 5 when we have a huge bullpen advantage full game?
Yeah, you can take, I guess, you've got your -1 calculator. -1 probably wouldn't be too bad, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I wasn't at first. I was trying to figure out how to do this. I don't want to go up against Taint, though.
Yeah, and this is a low-scoring game, it seems. So, low variance or a low-scoring game, low variance. If you take like a +1 or a +1.5, you could slide under there with like a 3-2 Padres win or something like that. But like I said, I think this is the best pitching matchup of the day. Probably the best game. Well, not the Red Sox Yankees will be the best game, but best pitching matchup at least here. So yeah.
I think I'm going to move on the Padres on the -1 line just to take advantage. The biggest advantage, I mean, you have advantage to starting pitching and you have an advantage in the bullpen.
Bats are always the question, and like
Definitely.
I said, 10th compared to 20th in the last month or so.
We won't, Mississippi Whisperer. I promise you.
Thank you, Mississippi Whisperer. We needed that. Thank you.
I promise.
Never forget.
We'll never.
Prince. Can we have a moment of silence, actually, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
10:10 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Cubs 34-48, 17-21 on the road at Los Angeles. Dodgers 52-29, 26-13 at home. Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Let's go over to the weather here to start in LA. 76 Fahrenheit. God, it's nice. Damn, my dad's in LA too right now. I just would rather be there. 6.7 miles per hour out to right center. Dies down to 4.4 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the line history in LA. Here we go. Leiter Jr. versus Gonsolin. There's been a 5-cent move to the Cubs. A 5-cent move to the Cubs. From a total perspective, it opened up at 8 and went to 8.5. We've been blind betting all of Gonsolin's starts first 5 in full game and been cashing. And they finally put up a number that you couldn't bet. I was looking, I was like, oh, they've done it. There's Jordy Nordman in the moving across the country. Where'd you move to, Nordy? Nordy, let me know. Where'd you move to, my man? Mark Leiter Jr. and Tony Gonsolin. They finally found a number that we can't get to. 7,338 tickets in. 26% of the tickets, 63% of the cash on Leiter Jr. and the Cubs. Then 59% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the under. Leiter Jr. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, 3-1 in a 3-1 win at home versus the Red Sox. Did you watch that game when Leiter was on the mound?
I don't think so. I don't think I was watching it close enough.
It was impressive, and he's only allowed 3 home runs in 29 2/3 now. I'm not sure what to make of him.
Confirmed, not Al Leiter's kid. Just remember that. Or nephew, whatever he is.
He's junior. He's Mark Leiter's son. Tony Gonsolin, last start, 7 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 8 Ks, no walks, and a 5-1 win at home versus Padres. He's a monster. So 10-0, 1.54 ERA, 0.82 whip. And at home, he's 6-0. 0.88 ERA, 124 points batting average. Billy says Leiter's road ERA is approaching 8. The sample size is too small. Let's give him a chance to stretch out. Is this a spot? It's hard to believe that there'd be 60% of the cash on him. Cubs versus righties 257-22. Dodgers versus righties 256-773 OPS. Cubs bullpen terrible. Not terrible. Not as bad maybe as their numbers indicate. 4.40 ERA, 1.32 whip. Clearly in the bottom 10 in the league, but not bottom 5 maybe. 3.30 ERA, 1.12 whip for the LA Dodgers. And Billy says, the Dodgers are going to stretch him out. What do you think here, Jose? Did they finally produce a number where we can't bet Gonsolin?
Well, I mean, I guess it's one of those things. If Pete Loshak was here, he'd be like, I'm going to take the -300, blah, 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 and all that stuff.
You take the -1 line.
Yeah, like -230, whatever it would be, So it's all ultimately up to you, but I wouldn't. I'm not that kind of guy. It's closer for me to take the Cubs, only 30 cents of movement, but I'm glad I don't have to. I'm glad I don't have to take multiple -300 fades every day. Would be sucky, but no.
Well, let's find out what it would be, and this is the Bet365 odds. The -1 would be -216. Certainly out of my.
By the way, Jim, I would like to tell you something. I have officially acquired my first troll, I guess. My man JR in the chat. I don't know who he is, and he's for the last week and a half, he's been hounding me for a half ounce of weed that I owe him. Apparently, I have no idea. I wish I knew. I really wish I knew. JR has been hounding me for it, and I just truly do not know what he's talking about. I really wish. And apparently, I changed my number too. I've had the same number for a while now. I don't know. I wish I could tell him. I really wish.
Oh man, Going after you for a half ounce, eh?
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, typically that's a good thing to go after me for. But I just wish I knew. I wish I knew what JR is hounding me about. I gave him my number. Apparently, it has not changed. And the other thing, I was thinking about it the other day because the first time I really racked my brain. I was like, do I owe someone money for? I was like, no. I was like, why would someone let me walk away with that much and not pay them? I just didn't understand. But shout out to JR, man. I had to give him a timeout the other day, but I'm glad that he was the first person I had to give a timeout to. But JR, but he's a little more chill today. Maybe he gets a little more laughs. I don't know. Shout out to JR. I didn't give him the full block, and I'm glad that he's back.
I'm glad he's back too. I think this through line's going to work for us.
Yeah, hey, again, JR, I'd love to know. I fucking love to know too.
I think this through line's going to.
And Billy Friedrich is factual here. If JR was coming at me for a steak, I would be like, yeah, 100%. I absolutely owe you a steak. But I don't know about that. I do not.
Oh, that's good stuff.
A half ounce ribeye, maybe. Who knows?
So let's take a look at lighter starts here. Do we have? I mean, the gambling market seems to have faith with them. Is that the Dodgers sticks have been quiet of late, or is that they really believe in lighter?
I think it's the more of the Dodgers sticks being quiet. I mean, Jimmy, you watched last night as Jose Urethra fucking gave him the big dicking. And then unfortunately, Mitch White proceeded to also put out his penis as well. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things. I've been saying it for a little bit now. I don't think the Dodgers are going to win the World Series this year. I think they're firmly like 3-4 contender in the NL. They lose Chris Taylor, fractured foot the other day. That hurts the offense. Obviously, they still have a plenty of name brand guys out there like Cody Bellinger, MVP, but he fucking I don't even know like when the last time he was actually good. Justin Turner obviously can hit and all those guys and a mopey Freddie Freeman, but it's just, it's scary to see that at 8.5, and I'm kind of fully expecting them to just win this game like 4-0, 3-2, something like that. I don't know, but it'd be a low scoring affair.
Mark Leiter Jr. didn't pitch in 2019 or 2020. It's hard to believe that this 31-year-old journeyman is going to be able to take care of business here. And the gambling market on them, it's all very confusing.
Well, again, we said that about Urethra last night. Sometimes it's just blind faith and line value.
Yeah. God, Urethra was great.
Isn't it always? Not always, I guess. Some people do have. I think that's an issue when you get older. I don't know.
What? The giant urethra?
Just, issues down there in urethra. Who knows?
I don't think that you ever get issues.
You're closer to that age than me. I'm asking you in this. I don't know.
I can tell you the no problems originate with the urethra. Just to make you feel excited.
Did you ask your dad too?
I won't ask my dad that. No.
Can I ask your dad that?
You can, but
I still want him to come on the show. There's some of my white whale guests on the show is your dad.
Oh, he's not coming.
He's one of them, obviously.
You have a 0% chance of getting my dad on your
him,
program.
Sonny,
Dodgers. What would
maybe your Sig Fig?
I find it impossible to imagine Leiter having a good start here. But I'm not going to go against this market here.
Helga would be a great guest.
She would be. I would. We need to get Helga on. Okay, let's move on. Cubs, Dodgers. I mean, if the betting public thinks that Leiter is capable of having a good start and the Dodgers sticks aren't working, then what's the point of getting involved here? All right, let's move on to the Blue Jays and Mariners, T-Mobile Park, and there's
no starter.
No, but I mean, is it going to be Casey Lawrence? Because if it's Casey Lawrence, he was the guy that we brought up from Buffalo. We brought him up when you're allowed to add the extra player for a double dip. And it was the game where Gausman took the liner off the leg. And then we had to bring in Casey Lawrence, and Casey Lawrence got destroyed. If it's Casey Lawrence, it's very possible that the Jays are, get beaten up here in Seattle. Seattle's starting to play some really good baseball, and if they turned it on, like who ends up here with a better record between like the Jays and Mariners? I don't even know anymore. I think that you'd be in your right.
This is fatalism. Now you're in fatalism, Jimmy.
No,
let's pump the brakes a little bit.
We're not playing good baseball right now, and our pitching is an absolute
You sound
mess.
like me at the beginning of the year.
And we're going to bring up 34-year-old Casey Lawrence.
It's a survive till the All-Star break kind of thing right now. Trade deadline is August 1st. I think it used to be July 31st every year, and now it's August 1st, I believe. So it's survive till the All-Star break. You've got it is the 7th right now, so you've got a little over a week and a half left. You get to the All-Star break, you come back refreshed. You can survive the freshness for a week, and then unless your front office is incompetent, which maybe it is, you'll have some arm support then. But it truly is survive to the All-Star break right now. For like the Red Sox right now, it seems like that. They're fucking limping in. The Blue Jays, obviously the White Sox, they need an exorcism, but we'll see about that. But I survive in advance. And the Seattle Mariners are hot.
Well, Casey Lawrence has only been in with two organizations in his career, and that's the Jays and the Mariners.
Oh boy.
He started with the Jays, went to the Mariners, came back to the Jays, and he's been excellent in AAA this year, but he's always good in AAA. And this year, 2.22 ERAs, 8-2 for Buffalo. He's got a 0.86 WHIP. In 2021, he was good in AAA, 8-3.
What do you think this line's going to open up at? Is the real question.
Here's another pitcher who didn't pitch in 2019, 2020. I think this will open up with Marco Gonzalez. If it's Casey Lawrence on the hill, I think it'll be minus 140, plus 160.
I was thinking minus 150 too. So, yeah, I mean, and it's, if we're going to be honest, it's not often you're going to get a Blue Jays squad that big of an underdog. So if you're a Blue Jays guy and you think like Marco Gonzalez sucks, our offense can swing us through here, maybe, but the offense has not been great. Is that a factor of the Coliseum being like the shittiest hitter-friendly or hitter park in the league? Maybe. It's a sleepy atmosphere there. At least in Seattle, you've got it bumping a little bit. You've got the Utes out there standing in the outfield, swaying their arm, doing their thing.
It'll be jammed. There'll be more Blue Jays fans than Mariners fans.
And you know what? I don't remember. Oh, I remember now. Actually, let's. I think we should play this video again, because this video, when I watched the original video, the part of the video for Canada Day was, we'll go down the blah, 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 the Queens Bridge, whatever, and go down to Seattle. And I was like, wait a second. This is a part of the Canada Day going to Seattle? Is it what? So you're right about that. This is going to be a lot of Blue Jays fans. But again, never forget that I am a friend of Canada.
This is baseball in Canada.
We get the bonfire, eh? And then we get the darts, and then that's what we do up here in Canada, eh?
This is the game as we know it. This is baseball the Canadian way.
Jeez, he was flashing children at that last pick. There's a bunch of children there. Look, one thing that Dennis Garcia has done spectacularly well, he says he'll be able to, is he's bet the Jays when they've been dogs this year, and he's done very well with it. But I don't know. Marco Gonzalez, he's very good this year. He's 4-9, but 3.29 ERA, 1.32 WHIP. His last start, 6 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs. His splits, he's great on the road. He's great at home. But the Jays smash lefties. And, with Casey Lawrence's background with the Mariners system and one of these another undrafted pitcher. I mean, unheard of to make it to the show. Maybe he's worth a try because he came up not expecting to pitch and got lit up after Gossman went down. Maybe he looks good here. So,
little breaking news: Jeremy Pena out of the lineup, health and safety protocols.
Oh wow. Okay, well, let's review all action here.
Hold on, can I gush for a second?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the Baseball World Classic tournament group schedule just came out. Oh my God, just again, right here, Pool C, the USA, Mexico, Colombia, Canada. Oh my God, I can't wait, Jimmy. In Miami, Florida, March 11th to the 15th, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
I am going to be there, and that will be the most Venezuelan I'll be because fuck the Dominican Republic. They fuck the Venezuelans every step of the turn of fucking baseball and the Olympics and the fucking qualifiers. Everything makes me so angry. I hate the United States and I hate the Dominican Republic in baseball, and I cannot wait. The Baseball World Classic is my favorite event of all things, and Venezuela is going to beat that fucking ass.
You got a very good baseball team. There's no doubt about that.
If all the major leaguers are allowed to play.
Yeah.
I shall amend it like that.
Ragu scratching his Astros a look with the Pena news. Let's go over Ragu's action. He's on the Red Sox team total over 3.5 with Jose. He's on the White Sox -1.5, -115, and Webb over 5.5 Ks at +115. Okay, let's review all action here on the show. The huge move to the Stamps. Crazy. Now 5-point favorites. And again, the dog has covered 9 of the last 10 times these provincial rivals have met. I moved on the first quarter and first half on the Stamps, and I'm staying away from the full game there. And then
by the way, Matt Murray said fuck Buffalo, and he said no thanks, according to Mike M.
I don't know what to say about Matt Murray. If Buffalo was going to give him a shot to really be the starter, then I would go there. But
what overall do you think he would be in a video game? Just a random game we'll play here.
68.
He's a 90.
What?
He's out of 100. So yeah, Matt Murray. Shout out to him.
Okay, let's review MLB action. Both Hunter and I are on the first 5 under in game 1 of the Pirates Reds. He's on the under 4.5 at +116. I'm on the under 5 at -115. Nothing for game 2 of the Pirates Reds yet. Then Lamont Williams' max bet is on the Houston run line. Jose Seje plays of the day are here. And they're double ups. Royals first 5 +293. Full game +293. Those were both available at Circa. Then at 405, Nats, Phillies, no action. Then Hunter's on the Angels first 5 at -105. And the first 5 under 4.5 and +105 in Angels, Orioles. Hunter's on the Marlins first 5 +145. I want in. I imagined that line would change for the worst for me. And it has not. That's a nice sign.
Oh my God, dude. I'm already thinking about the group stage. They have to come in first or second with Puerto Rico, the DR. Those are fucking brutal.
Yeah.
God, it's so much anti-Venezuelan bias.
Oh, Dennis is on Edmonton. Yeah, I get it. I get it now at 5, Dennis. I get it. I'm not going to. But I'm going to cheer on Trey Ford. Then the Seje play of the day, more Seje plays of the day are over 8.5 in the Yankees Red Sox, and the team total over 3.5 at -108. Then Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is the Braves on the -1 line. Tone Miggins in the house. He levels play of the day. Jose Abreu over 1.5 bases at +106. Hunter's on the first 5 under 4 at +109, and the White Sox and I'm going. So he's just on the first 5 under 4. I'm going to move on the White Sox first 5. Probably on the -1 line, and I'm going to move on that under 2. I love this breakdown of Brisky. Rockies, Diamondbacks, we've stayed off. And Hunter's on the Padres first 5 minus a half at plus 125. Taint play the day's Giants money line plus 115. I'm planning on fading the Giants, but do I really want to go up against Taint? I don't want to, but I will. Cubs, Dodgers, no action. Blue Jays, Mariners, no action. And that is our show for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tomorrow, we have a big show here on Betting with the Bag. Babano, our Friday guest. So he'll be firing shots. We'll take out the 2 CFL games first, and then we'll break down the entire MLB card. And we have lots of shows here on the network, big shows. We have Prize Picks with Sharpie at 3:10 p.m. Eastern. At 4 p.m. Eastern, we have WNBA. At 5:30, we have the Say Hey Plays of the Day. Who is on your show as your special guest today, Jose?
It is the Spin Doc. The Spin Doc's back with me again. The lovely Minnesotian is coming back. I can't wait. I had a shit day yesterday, very bad day. Got lucky with some pushes to make it almost a little bearable. The record's 260 and 251, up 11.46 units. So obviously we're still rolling well, still doing our thing. But I'll be honest, Jim, my mind is fully consumed with the Baseball World Classic now. Like that is all I can think about. Jimmy, I don't think you understand. I would trade a Red Sox World Series for the Venezuela to win the Baseball World Classic in a heartbeat. And if I was there, in a heartbeat. Oh my God. I'm crying thinking about it. I'm going to be there 100%. And my sister lives in Miami. Shout out to her. So I will be there with my sister, and I cannot wait. Look at these tears, Jim. Look at these tears coming out of my eyes. I am pumped up.
I love it. No, I love that. I wish Canada would put a team together. At least we will in basketball. Thank God for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander leading the way to get the NBA players involved.
You're not going to say anything? Oh, okay. I was about to say, what about Maple Jordan?
We're just going to focus on Shea.
Okay, fair enough. He's the highest man on the world. By the way, Canada is in the Baseball World Classic. We'll tell you that.
Oh, we know where the team. There will be players wearing the Canadian jersey out there.
Okay, all right. Well,
are we going to get our best players out there? That's been the problem.
Well, I mean, that's my forever issue with Venezuela, as well. But I'm going to hope that the United States fucking twirling their fucking dicks around and getting all their players to go, having all the advantages in the world. I'm going to hope that the Venezuelans all band together and be like, fuck this guy. Maybe I should manage. I should be the emotional leader. Me and Ozzie Guillen, because I saw an Ozzie Guillen comment earlier. Ozzie ranks high amongst the people I respect most in this world. Amongst Venezuelan people, I think he's top 3. I think it's Miguel Cabrera, number 1, Juliana Pena, number 2, currently, and then Ozzie Guillen, number 3. And Jose Altuve is making his rep intense, and he's coming back to the top 3. Depending on how Juliana Pena does in the next coming weeks, her place on the Mount Rushmore might be cemented. But yeah, USA, Mexico, Colombia, Canada, qualifying team number 3. You could come in second there, Jim. Come on.
You don't have King Felix on that list?
No, he's a ghost now. He's a ghost. And plus, my Venezuelan pitcher choice is Johan Santana.
Francisco Liriano, he's the reason why we have Teoscar Hernandez.
No.
What a terrible trade.
I actually have a King Felix signed baseball, and he signs it with whatever King Felix perfect game signy because he was the last one to throw a perfect game. And I will admit that is something I hold closely to my heart. The last player to throw a perfect game was from Venezuela.
Marco Scutaro, you don't have him on the list?
Oh, don't! I love Marco Scutaro, or Marco Scutaro, as a lot of us say. I love Marco Scutaro, former Red Sox.
We love him up here in Canada, man.
Yeah, he's a legend. Marco Scutaro, again, Red Sox legend.
All right.
That list of Venezuelan Blue Jays is pretty thin, huh?
Oh, all we care. Look at I see my favorite. I didn't even read it, so my bad. Andres Galarraga, he's my favorite Venezuelan.
Well, I don't remember what the umpire's name was at this point, but fuck that guy. Fuck that guy for fucking him. out of his perfect game. Fuck that guy.
Andres Galarraga is not a pitcher, man. He's the
Well, then there's another Andres Galarraga then.
No, it's not Galarraga you're thinking of. Andres Galarraga is one of the best Montreal Expos in the history of the sport.
Then who's the pitcher for the Tigers that got fucked out of the perfect game?
Yeah, who is the Tigers pitcher? Tigers.
Let's see. This is our say hey trivia today. Who is
It is Armando Galarraga.
Armando Galarraga. There we go. See, Fanatical Gems got our back too. Yeah. So I appreciate it. But yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And can you throw up that cachapas one more time?
Yeah.
I'd like to eat it right now. I'm ready for it.
You should have gone yesterday. I don't know why you didn't. You know.
I'm ready to eat that shit. Eat it right now.
Hold on. We've got too many graphics. Let me delete.
It's so fucking good. Like it's one of the tastiest things I've ever had in my life.
And you didn't have my mom's too, which is a fucked up part. My mom's does it better too. It's a little sweeter, because you know me, I'm a little bitch. It's a little sweeter.
Oh god,
that's great.
Look at that. That was so good. Like I mean, so good. Like that just rocked my world. I got to go back. I got to go back soon. Let's put a bow on this show. Good luck, you guys. I'm gonna get lock in my action here. I've only made that one bet thus far, and that's on the under. In that, when's that game start? Like is that starting in 30 minutes here, or is it already? Yeah, in 30 minutes. Let's get that cash. JP
not crying anymore either.
Juliana, yes, my girl. No, I love that you were crying. No, I love that shit. Let's go. Let's have a big day yesterday. It was a strange day yesterday with the two pushes, but 2 and 2 down, 0.2 units. Both Jose and I did not have the kind of days we want to. Jay Peters says, get your prop looks from Sharpie and Dabby Cab and Dutch dishing out winners as well as tees in the WNBA. Jack Jenkins says that looks scrumptious. It's a cachapas.
You say it plural every time. You can just drop the S at the end.
Okay,
for
cachapa.
One. Yeah.
It's a cachapa. It is fucking great. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your support. Let's get that cash, Jose. Oh, but let's give a shout out to all you guys: AJ, Real Deal Prime, Alex Rodriguez, Jack Jenkins, Danny Lopez, Billy Friedrich, Fanatical Jim, Jay Peasy, who is the voice on our intro. Big Ragu says the Oz is my favorite. Is my second favorite Venezuelan. You're not number one. It's women. It's Venezuelan women are number one.
Well, I'll say this: our two greatest exports in Venezuela. Well, three. I'll count oil in there as one, I guess.
Sure.
But baseball players and Miss Universe winners. Let me I'll tell you a fun story, Jim.
Sure.
This is when I was a youth. My parents tell me this story all the time. They were watching the Miss Universe, and I was a wee lad in diapers and such. And when the bikini contest rolled around, I told my parents that my pee-pee grew up. So it was good. It was good. My parents tell me that frequently.
That must have been nice, a relief for your parents to hear.
Yeah, especially for Venezuelan parents. Let me tell you, my dad, he went, whoo! Took a big sigh of relief.
D Jenkins top set says legend in your mind, Jose. Oh, who is that? Ozzy, maybe? Ozzy, is he talking
maybe.
about?
I'm not
Ozzy
sure.
probably.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
By
the way, Billy Friedrich, I almost forgot about Maglio. Maglio Ordonez. Well, he's in the top 5 for sure, just because my mom grabbed his ass. So, along with Miguel Cabrera, that's why he's on the top spot as well.
Well, Andres Galarraga is my favorite Venezuelan baseball player now. I should have figured that out earlier. Mark Schillingberg, Johnny K, Drug Monkey RX, Ronnie and Bergia, all you guys, thank you. Jordy Nordman, thank you guys all so much. Dennis Garcia, Big Ragu, Nick Kaysen, Bruce Hayward, thank you guys so much. God, I'm just so thankful for this. Eric Rosas on Jordan Alvarez over 1.5 bases at -110. Jose, excellent job producing as always, man. I love doing these shows with you, and I loved doing the show yesterday with you. That was you were excellent.
Jim, again, I love sometimes you have to put me through a translator to understand like what bets and what leans I'm going through, because sometimes I talk in my own language and sometimes you just need to figure it out. And I appreciate, though we did not have a good day yesterday, at least I'll speak for myself. I had a shit day. Your day was, meh. Though that happened, I've learned from it. I've learned from my mistakes, and we will adjust. And whenever that is needed again, I'll be here. But I have one more thing, one more last thing.
Sure.
I'm sorry. You know, I make these shows. It used to be you that made them 3 hours. Now it's become me that's made them 3 hours. But since we're in the trust tree, Jim,
Sure.
we're in the trust tree.
Mhm.
As one host to another host, I'd love to figure out how you fight the burnout situation, because it turns out that doing a show every day is quite emotionally and physically draining. It turns out that is the case, and I'll tell you, the hour to 30 minutes before a show are easily the worst hour and 30 minutes of my day. It is. I want to get the show started, and I am just sitting here like I've done most of my research by then, but I've just got like a big thumb up my ass until then, and I just need to learn how to combat these things, Jim.
When you said you were going to go every single day, I thought that is so funny, and just because
I'll never forget the look on your face too when you. I told you like every day, and then during Pubblepalooza, you might not remember this because you were deep in your pollutants at this point.
Sure.
But during Pubblepalooza, you looked at me, and in the most genuine way, you're like, "Are you ready for the most important baseball season of your life?" And I hadn't really thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I guess it is the most important baseball season of my life, huh? And you were like, so what are you doing? How are you gonna prep? And I was kind of like, I'll figure it out. And at that moment, I could feel like Jimmy being like, oh, we're fucked. We're fucked, dude. This is going to hell. But yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, the All-Star break is going to be huge for you.
Oh yeah, no. But and here's the thing: on the 19th, I believe, we have the Home Run Derby, and we're doing a Home Run Derby tournament, and I'm still 50-50 whether I'm going to host it, because I am going to fuck off for those 3 days or at least 2 days to figure out what to do. But yes, I will remind you, and you're invited to this as well. I'll say this: Home Run Derby tournament. We did it last year. I don't know if you were around by then. I'm not sure.
I was around, but I wasn't part of it.
But it's essentially you take a bunch of numbers, you put them in a hat, and when we get 8 people or so, however many people are in the tournament, you get them in, you pull them out, you get a person, and we all play for money. It's great. It's great. Oh, Mike M, that sounds like a horrible time.
Yeah.
My sister wanted me to volunteer at the World Cup in Qatar. She sent me a link, and she was like, hey, this sounds like a good idea. And I sent my sister back. I was like, no, thanks.
No
thanks.
No, you wouldn't be allowed in to the country with some of your medicinal needs. And if you did, you'd be sending letters to Brittany Griner.
Yeah, me and Brittany would be just elbow to elbows, like, yo, trade an arms dealer for me. I know I need a 1-for-1. I know the salaries might not match.
No, they don't match.
They might not match, but who knows? Yeah, Fanatical Jim, I'm not capping the All-Star game, unfortunately. I hate to break it there. I would bet on the team that has Jenny Finch. For the Home Run Derby, I would bet on Pete Alonso. And for the Home Run Derby stream, I would fingers crossed that you get Pete Alonso. I don't know how much money we're going to play for, Jim, and the buy-ins and such. But of course, you're more than welcome to come and watch people sock dingers.
Yeah, I would like to be on a beach somewhere, but I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off. We're in discussions right now. I've got to go. I got to make some bets here, my man.
I guess you have to go pick up Ella too, I guess.
No, school's over.
Oh, yeah, graduation.
Yeah, she's at dance camp, man.
Oh, man. Hey, Jimmy, guys, I'll say this. Jimmy's fucking the night, guys. No kids tonight. We got it. Jim's having a great
dance camp's tonight. over at 4 or 5. 4 or 5? Yeah, dance camp's over at 4. It's a day camp.
All right. Never mind. We'll put it back in our pants.
Thank you for the hope, though. Derek Parr says, Jose, do you like your Pirates to win game 1 today?
I do, yeah.
But you didn't bet them.
I did not, no.
Okay. Jose, can you let's us into the future? And one more thank you to all of you for supporting the show. It means the world to Jose and myself, and from all of us at Pub Sports Radio, Jeff Slaughter, and us all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Jose, can you please let's us into the future?
Sure. I think I've let us out of here every day of the week so far, by the way. So
I love it. I love it.
I'll say this: one of the best ways, and my best way to combat. I don't know why I'm laughing today so much. I'm not drunk or anything. This is ridiculous. But the way I combat, I can't do this. Hold on, I can't do this. The way I combat, I'm not gonna look at the screen. Then I'm not gonna look at it. The way I combat burnout is by having the lovely people in the chat. And if it was only like 6 people watching, I definitely would not have the mental and energy to do the show every day. So I appreciate everyone for watching, as always. Betting with the Bag, Say Hey Plays. If 6 people were watching Betting with the Bag, me and Jimmy's relationship would not be as blossoming and beautiful as it is now. So I appreciate that. I've cried this show, I've laughed this show, and I've made bets this show. You know what? Jimmy V said, that's a full day. That's a full day right there. So everyone, take your hands, everyone. Get them together. Do the fingers too. Get the fingers together. And leche a los bookmakers.